Does anyone
I
want
have
to do
spoken.
a more full recap, or are y'all good after
I'm
taking
I'm
that?
insulted,
I don't know
so
what
I will
votes
not.
you were.
I guess I'll figure it out as we go.
Insulted by who?
Well, I'm
Our
also just buying time here, because I'm still throwing in some NPCs.
Oh,
Yeah,
we can
why
keep going
don't
with the
you-
recap. So we like tie the guy up, and music's too loud. Let me turn it down here. So like we tie the guy up, and Solros turns into him, and the plan is to just kind of usher ourselves
I do it.
quickly out of wherever we are. But the guys who are in there, who are like waiting for us to appear, are like very beholden to this guy, and they're like, "Master, master, master!" And we were having to pretend to be this guy, and we make our way through the underground base, I guess. And we make a few wrong turns, but eventually we get out without having to draw
You.
any weapons.
Every turn we made was wrong, basically. We ended up in their bedroom, we ended up in their toilet, we ended up...
Yeah. We were like coming through to like.
We were trying to ad-lib it, like,
It was
oh,
like,
yes.
which way
oh.
do we go, left or right? And I was like, let's go left and check in here. And we get inside somebody's bedroom. I think we were like, I pretended that we were going on like a tour or something.
Like, yes,
I
we
think
can throw our servants here.
I think Silky was like,
Nice.
this is a nice place.
Rolled like a natural 1 on
And I
deception.
think they caught on, but we got out without having to harm anybody.
nice.
We did
Now
tell
we're
them
headed back on the road.
exactly where we were going and why. So that
Oh,
was
nice.
We told them the city.
We just
But
said we have business in the city.
They don't know what city.
And they're city.
Well,
I think
I
there's
think that-
pretty sure I
only one
mentioned-
that's
Probably.
very nearby.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I mentioned Kirkwall, and I think it might have been like this furball has got family on a slave ship. That's the reason we're going. So
Did
Don't
you say
fall.
that?
pretty sure I did.
Yeah, Sam did.
I
Didn't
didn't
know
realize
our
there were
reason.
cultists.
Connor, you look so green.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah,
Why
we
is it
can
so
roll
green?
20
Weird.
here. Oh, yeah, my camera's gonna be shitty because I'm on
Why's
my
my camera being weird?
laptop.
It's better now.
You're not even logged in, Chris.
Yeah,
Into
How do I
Yeah.
turn on that music, Sam?
What?
How can I change the volume on the Spotify music?
Probably on your side, I would imagine.
In your own
Yeah.
Spotify, yeah.
Yeah,
Do
in
it
your
on
own
my Spotify? Oh yeah, I can.
Yep.
Cool.
So you can,
quick
you can pause it if
question.
you want.
Go ahead.
No.
Are my spells and HP accurate? 2 spell slot, 2 first level, and 40 HP.
You should be no. You had a long rest and you did not
Yeah.
fight, so you should be full health, full spells. I did not
Okay.
roll health for your level up, so if you did that already, then you should be fine. I didn't,
I think I
level
did.
you to 5th level.
Yeah, I
So
did.
I'm assuming you did that before you
Yep.
left. Cool. What else? You have a pending question as well as some dialogue with Savas from your trip. I don't know if Chris or Connor mentioned it because I wasn't listening at the very start.
Nope.
But before arriving in the Rakshasas cult cavern, you traveled through the astral sea to get to a demiplane that was owned by Hockney, which was the map Chris was mentioning earlier. Where Hockney's home is, essentially. Once there, he took off his mask and his cloak.
He's hot.
Showing you his face. He's a hot boy with weird eyes. And seemed to imply that he has some abilities of sight and knowledge that grant him a little bit more knowing about the world. He also seemed to imply that there are a few dangerous things in the world that he was hiding from the gaze of, as well as warning all of you of the dangers of the astral sea, which a few of your party stayed a little bit overlong in, hoping to gain some boon. You did not, so you were only going to have like a very brief conversation with Savas, where he basically did say this place is dangerous to be in the flesh. A few of you witnessed a great light that Hockney identified as Odium, god, a god of emotion, hatred, passion, and there are going to be some ramifications for that. Aside from that, what else? Hockney promised to answer each of you a question, and did for 3 of you. You have yours, which you can ask like next week. Kathan, if you want to watch like the first half of that YouTube video, just to get a feel for Hockney and think about what you want to ask, that's fine. I'm still waiting on Vinny and Soros's question, which I let them delay. So Connor, please do think about that. If you can stay a little bit longer after this, to
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
it,
yeah.
or if you want to ask it in front of everyone, because that's kind of the option. If you'd rather ask it privately, or you don't mind asking it in front of everyone. What else? He told Morteza about 2 objects that he could seek out. Do you remember them, Chris?
No. And I'm on my laptop, so I don't have my notes.
Okay. So he told you about one thing that was the original promise, something older than anything you've ever seen, that all the world would die.
Oh yeah, I have to go to the
Tomb of-
graveyard.
Yeah, the tomb of Sarah Silverbow.
I literally
2
got
weeks
a
after arriving in Kirkwall.
ad for like a.
Or at least
Dog
wait 2
thing.
weeks after
Oh.
arriving in Kirkwall before going.
I think it
Yeah,
broke.
and the other one is once you finish deciphering your current chapter that you're working on.
Yep.
If you look for the Cult of the Black Sun
I can see it.
in Gehenna, if you ever make it home, you would be able to pursue that item, which would be an artifact of old ancient draconic origin, and likely very powerful. And with that, we will get started. So when we ended, y'all had just escaped from the cultist lair and made it to the road, and we're about 2 days outside of Kirkwall. What are y'all doing?
What time of day is it? Like midday?
Yeah, it's pretty early in the morning still. You maybe like traveled 3-ish hours after waking up at Hockney's home. So I'll say it's like, 11 or so.
At the end of last session, I wanted to make sure that we were covering, or I was covering our tracks decently as we were leaving the cults. Which
you
I think
rolled
was at
a
15.
Survival check 15, yes.
So I will continue doing that as I look to the group and say, okay, pretty sure those guys were up to no good. I remember hearing something about Rakshasas. I don't know what those are, but those sound important. I know we got to get to Kirkwall, but maybe staying hidden on the way there might be the best way to go about it.
What distance have we made from the
Yeah.
place?
Question.
You're about 3 hours away. It was
Oh, okay.
It was through
Okay.
some woods, and you've made it to the main road, which Silky recognizes as being a road that leads towards Kirkwall.
I think that's good thinking. I'm not gonna pretend like I understand what was going on
So the
inside
area,
there.
the
But
area you were at was about here, and you've made it to like here.
Okay.
So you're on
The
the
way
road.
I see it, we
But-
either try and hustle and get there as fast as possible, or we take a little bit more time, stay off the main road when we can, and try to hide out while those guys deal with what just happened.
you think they try to follow us?
100%.
Yeah, but maybe it'll be to our benefit to be in public, like if we're in the woods, they can sneak up on us more. Does that make sense?
No, 100%. Yeah, I get it.
Dylan, question. I probably know the answer to this. I'm assuming we don't have our horses anymore.
No.
Ugh.
You don't.
Not Corona.
You left them outside of the Forgotten Library.
Oh no!
Corona.
Probably should have had
bad, man.
Hockney look after him. Oh well.
I don't know if I trust that guy.
Then
If
not
anything,
all.
at this
Would
point,
you have wanted to bring them into the library with you?
No.
no.
No,
They stand
I
a
would
better
have loved
chance
to
of
see the
survival over
horses
there.
try to cross the top shelf part.
Mhm.
I think that we had planned to go back
Horse-
out that
horse
same door.
nightmares.
That feels very
Yeah.
foolish now in retrospect.
That was
but,
the idea.
ugh.
I mean, how are we supposed to know that we were going to travel outside of a tower into the astral plane?
Well, we were gonna beat time and space to get here ahead to save your family, so
Dylan, if can I look up and down the road and see if there's any other travelers coming to and fro on the main road?
Yeah, you can make a. Honestly, you don't need a big perception check. It's not too crowded at the section that you're at right now. A little ways ahead of you, you can see a cart and some horses being pulled. That's really it, right now.
As long as the road isn't completely empty, I feel fairly safe staying on here,
Yeah,
unless
I
unless
think
you
let's
think
just book it.
there's yeah, unless you have a bad feeling, Rocket. I don't know if that's
I mean, I feel like everybody should have a bad feeling, but you're right. Either we cover our tracks so well they can never find us again, or we hide amongst larger groups of people. So I think once we're in town, we can blend in decently well, but just getting there is what I'm worried about. We can go make friends if you want. I know Silky is pretty good at that.
Well, we're not gonna. If we keep standing around like this, they're gonna follow us even faster. So let's just get a move on down the road. And so he will start walking west on the road.
All right,
Okay.
on we go.
So as you all begin to travel, it's a relatively empty stretch of road where you're at first, but about an hour or two into your journey, you do start to see more people out and about. You start to pass smaller farmsteads, see some riders, just travelers. It looks like innocent enough coming in and out of the, passing you, going in either direction, as they're mounted and you're on foot.
Morning.
You eventually are able to reach a small hamlet where you could stay the night at an inn, or try to push on a little bit more. You've got probably about 2 hours of daylight left. You could travel a little bit further along if you're worried about distance between yourself and the cult, or just take a rest under a roof for the night.
Anybody
Well,
hungry?
I wouldn't mind staying here, but
I've
it's
stayed
up to
here
y'all.
quite a few times, and I can say it is a delightful place to stay.
I thought the whole
Wow.
point of going to the library was to save your family as soon as possible.
You're still about a day outside of Kirkwall.
Yeah.
You'll
We're
arrive
gonna-
at this rate like into the afternoon tomorrow.
Do you
Yeah,
think
comes
that is enough time, Silky?
How many days since we battled the
would
ship
be-
left?
This would be the end of the 5th day.
Well, it would have taken us about, Dylan, please correct me if I'm wrong, like 2 weeks to get from where we were to Kirkwall. And we're doing it in 5 days. It takes
You're basically saving a little over a week.
yeah, it takes at least a week for a ship to get around from there. So I think, while I do want us to probably make haste tomorrow, I think we'll be fine, and I'd rather us save up our strength and be alive to make it tomorrow. And I think this might be safer to stay in a public place than in the woods somewhere.
I agree. I
Okay,
feel like
fair
there's
enough.
too many unknowns with the boat for us to make our decision based on how fast the boat may or may not be, like for all we know they could be there already or they may not be there for a week. We don't really know. So I think we just need to do what is best for
Well,
us.
they're probably not there. Let's stay on the positive side.
I'm just saying I'm not a boat
No,
expert
no,
or
no.
anything.
And can we say that during today we have been chatting about the cultists and we're caught up on kind of all the features of Rakshasas that we would generally know and such?
Within the party.
What
Yeah.
features of Rakshasas would you know within the party?
That would be a
They're
Chris
tigers.
thing.
That'd be a-
Morteza.
I just wanted to
Morteza
make
roll the
sure.
23
Cortez
for
knows
that.
they
Yeah.
are fiends. He knows that they have backwards hands and that they have roll history. Or history or arcana, what do you think? Both would be pretty good.
They're the same skill for me.
Your decision then, huh? How you feel
I would
about
guess history. Oh wait.
Oh
I think
my
I just rolled it
goodness.
twice. What the hell?
Well,
Can we have him take advantage?
yeah. I'll use the 26. He knows quite a bit.
All right.
Yeah.
So
You
sorry,
know-
I, mean,
you know
I
about
didn't
the
mean to press
backwards
it twice.
fiends. Here's what you know. Rakshasas are fiends that normally appear tiger-like in their features, but can disguise themselves quite easily, as one did so long ago in Gehenna. The one that did it in Gehenna called themselves the Maharaja, which came to mean great lord there. A Raja, in this case, would mean lord of Rakshasas tribe or group. They also mention the term rook, which you recognize as something that was referred to in Gehenna history as the knight of this Maharaja. So that would be essentially his stronger warriors. As you remember that the cultist leader asked you if who was the Raja and who were the rooks, or if these were your rooks when he was talking to Saros. Morteza, you know that Rakshasas typically operate in a solitary manner as well, as they do not actually get along for the most part with their own kind, and it's relatively rare that they group up into lords and the like. You also would know that they are immune to most magic, which is what made the Maharaja so fearsome, but that they are potentially vulnerable to some forms of celestial or divine assault. But you would need to do a little bit more research to learn about a specific weakness.
Yeah, because going off of, assuming Morteza tells us all that, I would
Yep.
say, yeah, whatever is potentially chasing us can become whatever they want to, apparently. So we'll have to keep on guard wherever we stay. If we stay at this inn, nobody is safe. Nobody that we are staying with.
I'll say one more thing, Morteza. You are also aware that they are. Is hedonistic the term I'm looking for? They're very
They like to
much
cook?
material creatures. They enjoy the good things in the mortal plane. The Maharaja was known to collect fine silks. You're not sure now if this extends to all Rakshasas, but at least in your experience with them, they tend to hoard wealth and beautiful material possessions, and dress somewhat gaudily.
They're the white people of demons.
Interesting.
Fiends to be exact.
After Morteza talks about the hands being backwards, Vinny's gonna spend like the rest of the day with his arm, like kind of like trying to do stuff with his arm, like this, like constricting himself. Like, how does this even work? What is this? What?
You hoping to pass off better as one if
No,
Yeah.
just
Trying to figure out their
He's just confused
motivation.
about like why would their hands be backwards? What benefit does that give them?
Perhaps they have people to do the hand stuff for them, Vinny.
The hand stuff.
You know, like feeding them, playing the patty cake, or
Is that what they thought we were like when we were in the temple? Like Thalros was
yes, that we were
the
his hand
Raja, and we were
minions,
his hand minions to feed him. Okay,
something like that.
these people are twisted. I don't know.
If y'all think that it's okay to stay in this tavern, I'm okay with it. Just know that since they can become anybody, we need to just be on guard all night, all morning. I would recommend us keeping a watch the whole time.
If anything, I think we're likely to get everyone in the tavern killed for just staying here. But what?
I think that
I
may just be a
agree.
general good policy going forward as well. Be more careful on the watches. I think
Yeah.
we've been a little lax lately, and these last few days have definitely been a bit stressful, you know. So I think that's a good idea in general to maybe start having two-person watches at night. Not that I don't trust you, Warden, obviously, to stay
will,
awake, but
I will not be insulted by your implication, Vinny.
It's a good time to
Was that
Make
said
some more
pointedly?
friendly bonds. All right, so shall we head into town for the night then? So if
Sure.
you're all right with it, then
Yeah.
fine by me.
Okay. So
Tell us about
you
this
are
little
gonna stay at the
town,
tavern?
Silky. Yeah.
It's just a small hamlet. You do recognize a familiar sign though, as you come across a tavern that refers to itself as the original Ugly
Oh!
Harpy.
What is what?
Do they have
Now,
t-shirts?
Now, in
here?
my experience, this is the original Ugly Harpy.
Where were we
Um,
with the gnomes? That was the ugly harpy too. What is?
It's a chain.
It's a franchise.
Can't run. I'm gonna run out of taverns, man.
What is a franchise? I don't understand.
Yeah.
Can you explain the concept of someone copying someone else's design?
I mean, basically that's it. But then this establishment gets money, like cut of the money.
Because it looks the exact same as the other one. Like, down to this cornerstone here. How is this not just blatantly stealing?
Rocket, it's even worse than the biggest cities because you have two ugly harpies that share the same corner and then they cannibalize each other's profits.
Oh,
How does that
no.
even make sense?
Well, everybody thinks they can make a quick butt because they say, "Ooh, ugly harpy, that's much success, much success." But then three people open up three ugly harpies on the same corner because at the same time, and then they all lose money.
What about the old taverns that have been there for generations and generations who can't compete? Are they just priced out? Are they
They are priced out, and then they
the
price
mom and pop
gouge all the.
shops,
Yeah, yep. It's just
so
not
to
tenable to
speak?
be a mom and pop shop owner in a big city like Kirkwall.
God, above ground fucking sucks. I want to go back to my cave.
Do they not have capitalism underground, Rocket?
We didn't have time for that. We had
Mm.
one in, and that was all you needed. But this place looks lovely, Silky. I'm sure you had many fond memories here.
Yep, I come out. This is where I usually stay the first night out of Kirkwall. Where I stayed when I was heading to Oakhurst.
That's the original town. Yeah.
Question mark.
Yeah, is that
maybe?
the original town?
Yeah, that's where it all
That's the
started.
place,
Where you all
yeah.
met.
Well,
So,
I'm
as
gonna
you-
keep on guard, keep watching everybody.
Does this place have merchandise
As you
or some
enter
kind
into
of
the,
trinkets?
Are you asking the barkeep there? Because as you enter into the tavern,
Yeah.
you see like a relatively full. It looks like mostly travelers, as this is really just like a stop-in hamlet on the way in and out of the city. Friendly barkeep gives you a wave, raises a mug, and says, "Interested in a room or some food and drink?"
Yes.
To both.
Yes
Yep,
to all.
so.
All right. That'll be 2 silver a head for the night, and make sure you're fed, and you'll handle your drinks tab separately, I'm sure.
Yes, of course. I'll give him 12 silver here, and I'll ask him. Me and my friends were having a drawn out discussion about the ugly harpy. Are you
Happy to answer any questions.
are you familiar with the other ugly harpies? Do y'all
Oh,
like
yes.
share business?
Well, there's an owner that builds these
Mhm.
places, right, and looks to hire barkeeps and tavern keepers, and so I'm the proprietor here. I stay and run the business, and take for myself a nice salary, but it's actually a merchant out of Kirkwall that built the original one. He owns the lot of them. They're all around the Free Marches. He's got a few.
Can I
other,
see if he
chains of inns, I believe.
Can I see if he has anything like for sale behind the bar, like little like
Trinkets.
equivalent of a keychain or a trinket or something that has.
What exactly
the-
did you have in mind?
I just want something that has this cute little guy's face on it here, and I'll point to the harpy guy. I still love looking at him with his little. I've honestly never seen a harpy before. Is that accurate to their depiction?
Well, I think they usually have hair.
Yeah.
This one is a bit more of a crone. But I suppose they must look like this, right? Come from somewhere. I've not seen one either, so. But
It's certainly the kind of
I do have, and he holds up this kind of not well made. So there's official merchandise, right? And I've been talking. I sent a letter to the owner, and I'm trying to convince him to make it a little more common, right? This is the prototype, and he holds up a shirt with like a crudely drawn, an even more crudely drawn version of the ugly harpy on it.
I'm not the first person who's inquired about.
I'm thinking we could maybe sell like little like dolls, right? Too, or figurines. Like, have you ever
Yeah,
been to
yeah.
an arena fight? They don't have them in Kirkwall anymore, but at an arena fight, sometimes they sell figures of the gladiators.
I'll
Rockgut will perk up his ears at this and come over to the conversation. Say, figurines, huh?
I got all
I'm
the
a-
ideas. I'm hoping he listens to me.
I'll pull out my guy and be like this.
Now you
This
see
That's
this
the one.
figurine. That's nice and all. Something I've noticed about the harpy though is that those wings, they like to flap, right?
Yeah.
At least usually. You know, that's how they fly.
One would assume.
Now, what if we got one of those figurines flap its wings?
Like you pull
Just
on it
a-
and they flap. Or
Exactly, Mr. Barkeep. I
My
feel
good-
like this is
my
a
good
great
gnome.
merchandising opportunity.
my good gnome, you're a genius. Do you know how to make one of these things?
I mean, I'm a bit of an amateur tinkerer myself. And I was just thinking of the perfect way to spend some time here while my friends are off doing whatever they might be doing.
Right.
Say I draft up a prototype for you.
I'm gonna have to give this guy a token now. Keep going.
We'll be in the area for a while. We have some business in Kirkwall.
Okay.
What if I draft up a prototype and let you look at it? We can chat about it in a couple days. Let you think about it. We can figure out some kind of some payment plan for any potential work
This is what he looks
going
like.
forward.
This is what he looks like, by the way.
I love his sideburns.
I love it. It's great.
You're certainly off to a great start with your T-shirt design there. I think you've really captured something with this.
Thank you.
He's definitely captured something.
If you could make a little prototype right with the wings, I could send that into
Mhm.
the owner, and I bet he would fund a little bit of a more wide scale production, right?
Right, of course.
Could be very lucrative. That's all I'm saying.
Is the owner in Kirkwall or
He is
somewhere
he
else?
is.
What's his name? Just so we can have that in our back pocket whenever we make our way over there.
1 second.
Bet Dylan didn't plan for this.
I actually did. Kind of a little bit
After
more-
this, we're gonna get another conversation of Dylan. Guys, please tell me your plans.
We're trying to do McDonald's, but for Sabine. You collect the figurines, and they don't make anymore, and the price just goes up and up and up and up and up and up.
His name's Bryant. He's a wealthy man. Bryant Udona, wealthy man in Kirkwall, very powerful.
What's your name, friend?
I believe he's actually on the Council of Leaders.
Oh man.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's your name in case we ever come across him and wanted to?
Extends a meaty hand forward and shakes you, Vinny, and you Rocket's hand. Name's Dodd. Dodd Neal. At your service.
Is that D-O-D?
D-O-D-D. Thank you very much.
Oh, can't forget the second D. The third D, sorry.
This guy is much bigger than me, so he like flails my arm around, and I'm like,
Much
oh.
bigger than you. He's much bigger than Vinny.
He picks me up.
Yeah.
Can y'all see that or no?
I just typed it
I-
into my notes.
I tried to make it visible. Here you go.
Oh no.
Boom.
There he is.
Oh, nice.
Whoa.
Yep.
God Neil. Short and sweet. Well,
He's got 2 first names.
O'Neill's not my first name, it's my last name.
Morteza, you
I-
have like 19 names. You can't.
Yeah, but none
can't
of them
say-
are first names.
I see we are
Okay.
insulting bar people again.
We're trying to make deals,
It's
Morteza.
not an
Please.
insult, just an observation.
No
I'm
offense
gonna
taken.
I'll pull Vinny aside at some point and say, is this how this is supposed to work? This whole quote unquote capitalism thing? I'm just trying to figure this out.
I'm not.
We
I'm
have
certain. I'm
we have a
certainly
good
not
provide.
from the.
or a service.
Certainly not from the merchant class or anything, so I can't really tell you how that stuff works. But I believe there is a certain. There's definitely some good that comes from having an idea and sharing it, right? And
I mean,
If
I was
you-
just looking for some way to pass the time, and it turns out we're gonna be potentially meeting with the guy on the council of leaders. That's
You know,
that's a
Rock-
big
it could be
Rocket.
good for its own sake, yeah.
My family is actually a family of merchants, so I do have some experience. And some good. Look, this education. That is what it paid for.
perfect. I will give you the figurine once I've made it, and let you figure out the details of it.
Oh no! My brother took over all that stuff. I just know the wizard stuff. See, that's the advantage of being the second son.
So you came from a family of merchants, but you didn't learn anything.
Oh
about...
no! I don't know anything. We could write a letter perhaps to my family. Maybe they could give us some advice.
Look, I've lived here long enough. I feel like I could probably figure it out. Give me the merch, give me the little dolly thing, and I'll keep it safe.
Mr. Neal, we will get you that merchandise soon, and we'll figure out a payment plan for it at some point in the future.
All right, sounds lovely. Well, yeah, I'll need to talk to the owner again before I can really pay you. If he doesn't want to sell it, it's his. It's just very complicated. It's something about image rights, I guess. I'm not really familiar.
Right. The T-shirt was just for his own design. That wasn't him offering to sell it.
He's like, well, I'm trying to get the owner to make more of these, right?
Yeah.
Maybe with a real artist, not like myself.
Where is Salrose when you need him?
He's not trying to let that one go. He wants to keep that one for himself.
Oh no, he'll sell it.
I would more than love to take that off your hand just so we can keep it on our minds,
Oh, well,
I just always have it around.
sure it does have.
Never forget our stay here.
Some sentimental value. I only made.
I was just thinking, just keep it on the minds. We're always thinking of ideas, for.
So I'd be willing to part with it for like 5 silver, I suppose.
I'll give him 5 silver.
You're too kind. Thank you, sirs.
You have quite the talent, I
And
think.
madam, of course. So at this point, 2 of you are going to be familiar enough with the existing government in Kirkwall, and Morteza or Silka, you could give like a brief explanation. Really, me giving a brief explanation on what the Council of Leaders is, if you all wanted to hear it, or we can hold off and that can be discussed later, or you 2 could keep it to yourselves.
I mean,
for the moment.
I'm pretty free with my knowledge. It'd probably be good to know.
Okay.
If anything, I'm too free with my knowledge.
So, Kirkwall, and most free marcher cities, is ruled by a viscount or some sort of semi-hereditary title. The original viscounts of Kirkwall were the Hawke family, Hawke, Hawke.
Taking notes, Tim.
But they were replaced, and Silky would know this, by the Dumar family recently when there was a time where there was no heir apparent for the Hawke family. That heir did later return, as he had been adventuring but thought dead, about 5 years after having been replaced by the Dumar family. And the Council of Leaders is semi-elected / appointed council of religious heads, economic / powerful mercantile heads, and some of the more powerful noble families that have a duty to contribute to the Kirkwall for any military or economic concerns. So there are a few nobles on the Council of Leaders, a few merchants, and a few of the like higher priests, and they are responsible for appointing the Viscount when there is no heir apparent, or potentially, if they almost as a full council vote him out, it's meant to be a way to peacefully remove a tyrant.
So
the
Silky,
current Viscount is Marlo Dumar, and there's a council of leaders below him that handle more the day-to-day, like, taxing or managing ports, but also have some power over potentially like electing him out if they had to, is how it works.
See, and it's that simple.
I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but I think we might have. I mean, if we can show this guy something that he likes, this might be a good connection to have in Kirkwall. If this guy's as powerful as you're letting on, Silky.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe we work on our little
Viscount-
prototype for a bit. Maybe we can talk to him when we get there.
The current Viscount is Marlo Dumar.
I mean, I was just looking for a way to pass the time while I was staring at this front door, but now I guess I'll put a little bit more effort into it. I didn't realize we'd be making connections on this trip, too.
Well, isn't that the goal of every trip?
Sure.
Sounds like we're going to be here for a little while. Certainly be helpful, I think, right?
Could be an easy way to shield us from any cultists. Keep them always slow. That might be on our trail.
Yeah.
Benny, why don't you get us a round of drinks while we kind of figure out our next steps?
Okay. Is beer okay for everybody? Minus Warden, of course.
Yeah, that'll work. It's been a
Alright.
day already.
How much for 5 beers?
Just it'll just be 2.5 silver.
1.5. I'll give him 4 silver.
Thank you kindly, sir.
Did you get the rooms already, too?
Yeah, that's what we. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
rooms have been got. And food.
Don't want to be scamming the barkeep out of his hard-earned silver.
We're trying to develop a fruitful relationship here. He's already sold me some merchandise. And I'll hold up the shirt. But I don't know if there's too much to do here besides just wait and hope that the night passes quickly, right?
So I guess the 6 of us are at one of these tables, drinking and everything. I want to keep an eye on the door the whole time. And just say, okay, let's review the situation just so we're all on the same page. Crazy fanatic cultists who can potentially all be Rakshasas,
Yep.
know who we are, know where we're going,
Yep.
and probably know exactly why we're going there.
Thanks to you.
And we have a boat full of Silky's family willing to be sold off as slaves as soon as they touch down in
Number
Kirkwall.
one priority.
So we need to go to
Slavery is
Kirkwall.
very illegal in Kirkwall, so they're actually trying to get them out of Kirkwall, but they have to go
Right.
through it.
Thank you, mysterious voice in the sky. Where they're sitting in the Kirkwall just to get past this chain thing
Right.
you're describing. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, then I don't know
So-
if you were here for that, but there is essentially
Yeah, I remember.
I can give some quick exposition on Kirkwall if y'all want. I'll wait until Sam's done talking though. Sorry.
I think. Yeah. Let me know
As a-
when I.
Yeah.
You go ahead. Go ahead.
fucked
And once we get there, I'll do exposition on Kirkwall in the morning.
So the boat's not going to be there long. They're going to want to move on out of town when possible. So we got to figure out how to get to the port safely without being captured by these Rakshasas. quote unquote.
I mean, we're gonna be pretty safe in Kirkwall. I know a lot of people there, and it's gonna take. If we go missing, people are gonna come looking for us. It's gonna take a lot for them to capture us.
That's great.
I doubt the cult is very welcome in Kirkwall. I bet that's why
I would agree.
they're out of town a few
I
days.
imagine. I think so too. I think as long as we're in daylight or large groups of people, we should be okay. But nevertheless, another reason to keep an eye on each other. So we need to figure out a way to be at the port when the boat's there. We got to figure out a way to stop the boat or a reason for the boat to stop. And then to either, hopefully lawfully, get them to offload their cargo to us.
I mean, I think the best way is go to my old employer. I think they're a very powerful family in Kirkwall, and I worked for them for about at least 100 years, probably more than that. And I think they have a lot of pull in Kirkwall, and I think they'll be able to help us accomplish most of our tasks.
You're talking like a Profaci type family.
Dylan, what's the name of the family again?
So the Hollingsworth family,
Yeah.
which you work for,
they're like-
was formerly one of the noble families on the Council of Leaders.
So, like I
And
was saying, they
typically
were
the nobles on the Council of Leaders have much more power than the merchants or religious heads.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, they're a noble family on the council.
They were
We're on the council. Shoot, I just lost my train of thought.
Do you think it's best?
Sorry, Connor, you just asked a question. Ask it again.
Was I? Oh, yeah. I was like asking, like, basically.
He asked if they were like the Profaci family.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're like the Profaci family, except like 10 times more influential and 10 times better than them.
Ouch.
Because they don't just pay us in stolen goods.
Well, the Profaci family is also a crime family, is worth noting. Well, this is a literal noble family.
Yeah.
Okay, that seems to solve a lot of our problems.
When we get to Kirkwall, like, are we going to be pressed about what we're doing? Like, are there going to be guards who are like, "What are you six odd bunch doing here?" kind of thing, or?
Probably not.
Suki, you would know that there are going to be guards at the gates that will ask your business.
Yeah.
But how much they actually really care, as opposed to just doing their duty, is likely not going to be that.
They're making
not
minimum
going to happen.
wage.
I mean, we're just saying I know, like, most of the guards kind of know who I am. I've been in and out enough that they know about the big blue lady.
This is a city of over 500,000 people. They
know the big blue lady.
Some will have heard of you.
Can I do an
The whole
inside?
guards are not going to know you on sight.
Can I do an inside check to see if Silky is like really, really over talking herself here, or?
Silky truly believes this.
Okay.
And
Silky hasn't
you
visited
can
in
roll,
100
and
years.
it's just gonna be Silky believes this. Whether it's true is up to question.
It's been 100 years since Silky's visited. All the guards she knew are dead.
Has it been 100 years since you've been here?
No, it's been about a few months. I left.
Oh.
I don't know, maybe like 6 months ago. So I mean, I haven't been home in a few months. Maybe closer to a year. But I mean, I've been living in Kirkwall for about 200 years. So
we can just stay in your home?
I mean, I'm gonna stay in my home. I guess y'all can come. It might be a little cramped, but we'll see what accommodations we can make.
I'm sure.
Just so we're clear that we're not going to show up and be like, yes, we're here chasing after the slave ship. Like, we're not going to say that. We're not going to tell them.
No, of course not.
Really? Because that's kind of par for the course for what we do.
Well, I think
Like-
we just need to have some idea of what we're going to
Look.
say instead of the truth.
We say, I mean, we'll just say, I'm coming home. I'm bringing my friends to come visit my home.
All right.
What
We'll leave
more do
that
we
to you.
need? Yeah.
We'll leave that to you.
I often do not pay attention during these conversations, but why do the cultists care to follow us?
That's a great question.
It
Because
is-
we know of what they are doing.
I
Or
would
they
say
think we
mainly
do.
just because we kind of beat up the leader and
Oh
tied him up
shit!
and
Yeah.
left him there.
Yeah, that
Oh,
is a good
right, I
reason.
forgot
But
about that.
but beyond
Oh.
that, the other ones, like the minions, didn't seem particularly threatening. Like they weren't all Rakshasas, right? They were waiting for the Rakshasas, who may not even show up for months, for all we know. Like,
I mean, I
Wait
don't
a minute,
know.
Vinny. Do you think they just sit there and wait in that room for months? Because of any day the Rakshasas might be the day they come in.
and
I
they're
mean,
a
do we have proof?
they're a
Do we
cult
have
of
proof
some
they
kind. I
don't
don't
do
know.
that?
No, I mean, but just the very thought of
I
it.
mean, you saw how poorly Solros was lying to them, and they seemed to buy it completely. So they're clearly not
mean-
very critically
I mean, that's
oriented in
true.
their.
When we turned into that bedroom, I thought the jig was how you say down,
Up,
up, up.
the jig,
Uh,
up. Yes, but
I mean, they can transform into anything they want. So let's just pretend like they're all Rakshasas until proven otherwise. And
Are you gonna go into this city just
That's a
assuming
trusting
everyone's a
attitude.
Rakshasa?
I don't think that's a good way to handle this.
yes, for all I know, everybody in here you could be a Rakshasa.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely a Rakshasa. I'm just
Not-
gonna say it's gonna be very entertaining watching Rock Gut in the big city.
Dodd's gonna lean into this point. What's a Rakshasa?
Dad,
we did it again.
I appreciate you eavesdropping on our conversation. Can you wait till I'm done with this
Sorry,
figurine?
You've been very loud. I just was curious. There's not a lot of interesting conversation that happens in here normally, you know.
Rakshasa is a cousin of Rock Gut. They all have the same name where he's from, pretty much. Rock Gut, Rock Lizard, Rock I don't know. Rakshasa is
foot.
just another cousin of his family.
Rock the Casbah.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
Very cool. One of those
So-
sounded a little different than the other, but
If you see a little gnome that looks like this guy,
I'll ask
Don't
him if
talk
his
to
name
him.
is Rakshasa.
do not speak to him at all. He's
Oh, okay.
no. Eye on the prize, dog. Eye on the prize.
Sorry.
Yes, let's in the future let's not talk about the Rakshasas. So
Yeah, just like that time we talked about the Profaci job.
we're turning over a new leaf here. Two
Precautions?
people
What?
on
God damn it!
two people on watch all night. Quiet on the names.
Should we come up with like replacement words to talk about things?
So like safe words.
If that's
More
what you
like a
call it.
code, Silky. More like a code or a cryptogram.
I'm not very good at this.
Why
whole-
don't we use cryptogram? That sounds pretty mysterious, and no one knows what it means.
I don't even know what that means.
Exactly.
So
It's not
I'll
very
keep
helpful.
an eye out for these cryptograms.
No.
The first part of this night, Warden, I assume, will stay up with me. I'm gonna work on this little figurine thing for the Mr. Neil. We got a couple beds upstairs, I assume, Vinny.
Yep,
we're
we're
good,
all-
all square there.
We're all set there.
Well, once I get a good prototype going, I'll go and wake one of y'all up to take on the second watch and keep Warden company. And we'll look to head out in the morning at some point. Go and see what this whole city's all about. Anything else we need to discuss before calling it a night?
I need about 20 minutes to, let's say, find a new horse.
Oh God. What does that mean?
He's going to try to feed every horse in
He
this
needs
town.
to keep his experiment going.
Do not be concerned.
One last thing before we all break for the night. Remember this letter we got from Regal that I pretend like I have in my hand. And then Regal was part of this mercenary band or something, and he had a letter on him after we killed him, and part of it burned. He was supposed to meet up with a group called the D something something something.
He was supposed to return to Kirkwall as they had been hired by something for, and it started with D, but it ended. It said D, and that was where it was burned.
So-
but essentially, it was a recall notice from the Red Iron Mercenary Band to come to Kirkwall.
Heads up for that one.
D as
They're-
in
Whoever they are, is a strong
Dumar?
enough group. Maybe.
Maybe.
You just
They're a
jumping
strong
on the-
enough group.
Jumping on the first D word that you see.
Yeah. It's right here on my screen. I'm just looking at it.
It could be D as in Dodd.
They have
Perhaps.
to be a big enough group to be able to hire someone like Regal.
Yeah.
So if we encounter any the D's
Silky
or
would know one thing about the Red Iron Mercenary Band that you could share right now, which is that it is
Please.
one of the largest mercenary groups in the Free Marches, but it operates mostly independently in like small cells. They take small jobs,
Franchises.
potentially as guards or in like individual bits, but their total mercenary band is over 2,000 people.
Wow.
So a very large mercenary company or name that tends to give it out a little bit freely for who they would let join their group, and operates mostly as independent cells rather than it would basically. I'm saying it would be relatively rare for them to converge, like what this letter seemed to suggest.
So, like I was saying, it's pretty rare for them to converge.
just something to keep in mind.
I appreciate it.
So I'm gonna finish up whatever dinner I have here and get to work on this little harpy thing. If anybody wants to stay up with me, they're more than welcome to, but otherwise I'll see you guys in the morning.
See you in the morning.
I'll take the second watch, Rocket, if you want to wake me up when
Alright.
you're
Sounds good
finished
to me.
up. All right.
Okay. Roll for watch, the people that are doing that, and I'll also need Rocket to roll with his Tinker's tools.
Nice.
Starting to think
I'm
that,
also-
that lack of trust in your watch might be deserved, Warden.
Yeah. So the 20 minutes I need
Yeah.
is for this. I was gonna summon a warhorse.
Oh.
That's sick.
Is it real?
What?
Yeah, it's a celestial warhorse.
Oh my. Can you feed it chicken tendies?
I can
Whatever.
probably feed it whatever I want. I don't know. It's up to Dylan.
Oh
Yeah,
my
I'm down
god.
with you feeding- I'm down with you feeding this horse meat, 100%. So you're summoning you can summon a
Uh-oh.
celestial.
Yeah,
a
I figured
demon,
celestial
or a fae or a fiend, basically, and you're going to go with celestial.
because that's more
Makes sense.
paladin-y.
it
Yeah.
is. I agree.
Not the best watch so far.
Oh my fucking
So I was gonna
God.
also
Are you
have
gonna
my
make me-
war
Are you
horse.
gonna make me figure out mounted combat, bro?
I was. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, we'll see.
We're just all standing around and Warden has a horse, just goes charging in every time. Damn it.
long-lasting bond with it. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna need to go choose a warhorse stats, which I think will already be out there.
Yeah, it's
Do you
there.
want to describe it, or do you want me to describe it?
So, I kind of wanted it to be like
Do you want it
in
to
my
appear
colors.
somewhat okay, so black. With
Black and red.
Red eyes.
Yeah.
And
That's-
I'm gonna give it for celestial, and because you're channeling somewhat the power of a storm and the storms in war. Do you want it to have red hair, or do you want it to have like maybe black mane, but like with strange lines of electric blue?
I'll do the latter. That sounds good.
All right, that's a fucking sick ass horse you've just summoned. I do not.
Yeah.
I do not have a token for it, but I'll look.
Is this a
around
new
after
thing?
The fact. Yeah, I think you just got that.
Yeah, I just
that's
got that.
sick. With my Tinker's tools, not nearly as cool, I know. But I can roll it with any of the 6 main stats, any amount of
Intelligence.
proficiency,
Intelligence.
half regular expertise.
You roll, yeah. You can roll it with any 6 main stat, but in this case, it's going to be an intelligence check. It's
Do I
normally
have
going to be
any?
intelligence. If you already know how to do it, it'll probably be more of a dexterity one, but just intelligence.
Do I have any proficiency in this this check?
I think you have proficiency with Tinkerer's tools, don't you?
I do. I just wanted to double check.
Yeah, yeah. So if you have proficiency with the tools, you have proficiency with the check.
Cool.
Okay. So you spend some time fiddling with it, and you think that if you were able to spend maybe a couple more nights, you could get something working. You might need to go and get some new pieces, though, as you use a lot of your parts to make the spring for the boxless Jack-in-the-Box that you were working on recently. And you're kind of running out of things to fiddle with, but you're pretty confident you could create it given time and resources, both of which you would have in Kirkwall.
Is Dodd still awake when I finish this thing?
You don't have something ready for him yet. You've tinkered with the concept, but you're running out of materials, and it's not really like going
Right.
just yet. You've essentially made like a lever that can move, and like other parts will move, but like that's really all you have right this second.
So this part is going to stick out the back probably, and it's going to, up and down, and then you'll see a little bit of a flap going on in the back. So
Right.
I think
we're
it'll
gonna
work.
need the wings to be carved. Yeah.
Right. That's later on. This is just a first pass, just to see if it can even be something that might be worth selling.
Well, yeah. Well,
I think it's got
I gotta,
potential.
I gotta bring like you know, Mr. Bryant's a busy man. If we're gonna show him anything, it's got to be good to go.
I respect that. That's fair. Okay. I'll keep working and get back to you when I have everything full up.
Okay.
This is just
it might be worth to check out maybe and look for some artisans in Kirkwall. Yeah.
right.
You could an artiste that might give a little bit more of that flair that the ugly harpy deserves.
Are there any ugly harpies in Kirkwall?
Plenty.
Good. Okay.
No, do you mean like the actual monster?
No. I just want to make sure that any artisans I might go to would know the intricacies of your logo.
Oh.
That
You meant the shop. I was going to give you my sister's address. Kind of like knuckles you on the shoulder.
I respect that.
No, I don't believe there is an ugly harpy in Kirkwall, but it's really more of like a smaller town kind of shop. But well known. They'd be familiar with the logo as long as you got someone that could travel.
Okay. I'll do my research and get back to you with a functioning prototype, and then we can approach Mr. What did you say his name was? Bryant directly? And Mr. Udona.
Well,
Apologies.
if you have a way to get in contact with him, that would be great. If not, I'm happy to send it on your behalf.
And I imagine my friend Morteza would appreciate if one of us were there in person.
Of course.
Just
to.
to,
I haven't spoken to him
just
in
to-
person in a long time, anyways. I was just going to send it to him in the mail. Really, it's the only way I can speak to him.
I see. Well, a pleasure potentially doing business with you.
Yes, very excited.
I'll go wake Vinny up.
Did you get it to work?
It could have been better. I think
All right.
there's
You
something
didn't-
here, but it'll take a little while.
You didn't see anything?
Nah, nothing. No, I didn't really notice anybody coming in or out.
All right.
Well, look, the lever goes up and it goes down, and it's something.
All right.
I'll go. I guess I'll sit downstairs and I'll have my book with me, and I'll be reading it, but I'll also be looking around.
Okay. And Mr. Dodd will try to make some light conversation with you. She'll be like, "Us,
Hey, can you give me a LaCroix?
what brings you here to Kirkwall? What's your business in the city, or just looking for business deals and the like?"
It's just one of those classic adventuring parties, out for make some coin, do some good, you know,
for
stuff
your
like
next
that.
your next payday, perhaps some
That's right.
cool magical artifacts. I respect it.
None of us are real city people, so we're certainly excited to see Kirkwall for the first time.
You,
It's a big place. Dark history,
Yeah.
but friendly people, right? Mostly, I assure you.
Do you have any recommendations for the city? Anything to do? Anybody to see? Any shops? Any?
Well, what's your flavor, right? Your musical taste, perhaps a lady.
60. Oh, wait.
Maybe not. Maybe not lady. Maybe something more. Maybe some shops or a nice inn or just somewhere nice to spend an evening.
Well, if you're not about the ladies, I was going to say the Bitcoin is brothel and network of inns. Pretty great party there, but if you're not after any lady
Okay.
folk, I understand. There's a bard at college, right? And you can sometimes go there and see some performances that they do. It's called I believe it's pronounced guitar, the bard at college.
Okay.
Um,
Weed guitar. Okay.
guitar is what
Ah,
it's
yes.
said.
Interesting. Okay.
As for shops, I don't know that I know much about the kind of shops you might be interested in, right? Assuming you mean more like magical variety.
Yeah, just knickknacks, odds and ends, maybe something historic or fun or, you know.
I'll tell you what. There's one shop I know of. What was it called? I ask around about I think his name was like Steve.
Steve?
Yeah. He's got like a collection of stuff that is pretty neat, right? I think a lot of it's magical or stuff that he's gathered over time.
Okay.
He sets some weird prices because I think it's a little bit more based on how much he likes the item, but there's some interesting things in there.
I just Steve, that's an uncommon name around here. I don't think I've ever met a
He's the only one.
Steve.
He's the only one I've ever met.
Never met a Steve before. Okay. Interesting. Well, thank you.
Oh, there's also a zoo, and if you're the religious type, might visit some of the temples. Of course, all of the high priests of the free marches are mostly based out of Kirkwall.
Okay. Are they all kind of clustered together?
Yeah, there's a district.
All right. Okay. Zoo. The zoo. Never been to a zoo either. Okay.
Well, a menagerie, I think is what they call it, right? But
Yeah.
I heard someone called a zoo once. Sounded neat, like the word,
Mm-hmm.
Fun to say.
Zoo. 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 Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Vinny, as you sit down to read The Green Knight,
Oh.
having enjoyed your conversation with Mr. Neal, I need to add this to your inventory, but what you are reading seems to be the story of a young goblin warrior defending his home,
Mm.
which roll history, and I'll give
Mediocre.
you advantage.
Oh wow. Okay. Come on. Am I on the? I'm not on the map. Let's see if it shows up. Okay.
So,
Oh,
nice. So,
I'm better than Morteza.
you're able to pick up these like phrases and landmarks that they mention. It's all in Goblin, right? And the way they
Mhm.
refer to it is not by any landmark or city
Yeah,
that
yeah,
you
yeah,
recognize. But you start to be able to piece together that this story was likely based out of the Eastern Free Marches, specifically from this region. I'll move you back to the Free Marches map. You recognize in some of the short stories you're reading about adventures that happened likely near this lake. I'm gonna call it fucking Lake Calenhead or some shit. This lake looks so shit when it's zoomed in. It looks better on the world map, I swear.
It looks like a heart or a kidney.
Yeah, it does look like a fucking kidney or a heart. Yeah. but all the lakes look like crap. They look so good on the zoomed out map, but it just looks so jagged on the zoomed in one. That's a shame. You recognize him talking about like a goblin settlement or fortress that likely was over here somewhere. And a great war fought in some plains that were down here against a tyrant king where he stood for all goblin kind and more.
Okay.
But overall, it's a collection of adventures of this knight. And apparently he died over here, but was buried with honors. Born on the backs of his goblin brethren. Back to his home near the mountains.
Careful, he's a hero.
You can't tell if it's fictional or historical, but you've never really seen a book like this before. Or heard of these tales. Maybe they aren't told in humankind, but you do recognize some old stories about a war against the king it talks about. That resonates a little bit, as there was at one point in history, after the free marches were free from the Eberonian Empire, where there have been 2 times where a king has where someone has essentially tried to declare themselves king of the marches and rule all the cities and bring them together rather than as separate city-states. And the second one was out of Kirkwall and was defeated in the same area that the Green Knight describes.
Okay, so there's a little historical context that makes it seem
like it might have actually happened. Like
Okay.
a goblin knight or hero might have actually been helping to defeat a tyrant king, potentially with human forces as well.
interesting. Oh, I should also probably roll a perception, or
I think you did already, didn't you? Oh no, it was rock cut.
that was right. Good.
That's me.
All right. You all keep watch. Doesn't really seem to be much going on in the Ugly Harpy. You know, you get a few more people coming in to drink. Warden seems to be like very distracted during his turn at watch. You hear him sort of like muttering under his breath. It sounds like he's like talking about horse name ideas. You can't figure out why. As you are able to keep your eye up between reading chapters and short stories and eventually take your turn to sleep, and Rockgut has somewhat of a distracted watch as he's focused more so on what he's tinkering with. And with that, morning comes, and you're about half day out of Kirkwall. Are you heading into the city?
I think so. Is there any? There's nothing we need to do out here, right?
Yeah. Mr. Neal will be in touch.
I mean, maybe we just see if we can get like a punch card or like a frequent rewards members for the Ugly Harpy.
That's a good idea too. I don't have one of those, but I'll make sure to mention it to Mr. Bryant.
Oh, perfect.
You see him like scribbling, rewards cards, frequent customers, like mouthing it out to himself as he writes it down.
Well, Dodd, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. We will surely see you again, and
Yeah.
we'll tell Bryant you said hello.
Well, I'm gonna go to sleep now because I've been up all night. But my brother Todd, he'll be out. So if you come back, you might see him instead. But night.
Todd Dodds.
Twin brothers
Todd
that
Neal.
share proprietorship is what I'm going with.
Todd Neal. Okay.
Hell yeah.
All right,
Head to the road.
to the road.
Warden, did you have your horse with you? Or is
Yeah,
it-
he's just he's following.
Where did you
Come from.
did you steal a horse from the inn?
No. This is Thunder. He is my horse.
What does Thunder look like again? I forget.
This is here. Let me see if I can.
Does he just look like Warden?
I just put in Hell Horse.
It's celestial.
Demon horse.
It's
That's
a
the way he
celestial
described it.
horse.
Honestly, if you Google Hell Horse, they look sick as fuck.
I mean, yeah.
Let me see. I thought.
And
I
then
thought I
We
found
have
something.
Warden will be
lame.
burnt at the stake if he comes in with a hell horse to any town he goes into.
Hey, let's see if I can throw this in there.
I'm
This is
glad
what
y'all
this is
think
what I'm
I
thinking.
know how to spell celestial. Sam, you playing from the Pride and
Ooh.
Prejudice and
I'm gonna
Zombies?
grab some water.
I
Hell
didn't
yeah.
realize you were a
I
Jane
put it
Austen
in
fan.
Dylan's play world.
Sophie's a
Wow.
huge
I was
Jane
thinking it
Austen.
would be something like this,
Or that, yeah.
but I just grabbed that. If you want it to be something else, obviously, what did you put in here? Let's
That's
see.
hot as fuck.
Dylan's
Pretty close,
Playworld.
just not glowing.
Yeah, not glowing, just the
Not
red eyes.
glow. Obviously, it should glow. So this.
Yeah.
So when it runs, an energy comes from it, like the celestial energy.
Yeah.
All right. That is a fucking scary looking horse, dude.
Where is it?
Be careful, you might make children cry with it.
Where is the
I
the
can
picture of
I
it?
can put it back in there. 1 second. Are y'all on the ugly harpy? You are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
I just want to get a good mental image, you know.
Are we getting
So
like
you
a
can make-
vibe from the horse warden?
So you
Is
can
he like?
transform
He
into
seems
it.
haughty. He
Is
doesn't
he
really. He
breathe-
doesn't really
Okay,
seem
gotcha.
super into anyone that's not warden.
Yeah.
You say hot?
Haughty.
Yeah, no, I know. He's a little haughty.
Oh, he haughty. All right.
Damn. Well, I don't know how much use he's gonna be as far as speed goes. I mean, I guess if you get tired, you can ride him, but we're all gonna be on foot still, I guess. So, yeah.
What are you implying, Vinny? That he will be nothing more than a pack?
Wait, what?
We can't hear you from your backyard, Chris.
What? I'm
Where
Are
are
you-
you?
Yeah, where
I-
are you?
Are you in like your bedroom? It's not your
no.
office.
This is John's bedroom. I'm in Houston. Remember?
Oh, okay.
Or just
You're
never
cutting.
mind.
You're
never
cutting
mind.
in and out. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Anyway.
All right. So, I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all some quick exposition on Kirkwall, and then let y'all enter the city. So as you approach, you can make out from a distance 2 large statues that seem to be on either side of the city, sort of on the far ends of it from where you are, that stand tall even in a distance. The statues are of a man in chains, kind of morbid. And those are the original statues from which the chains, the magical chains I had mentioned originally, would raise from, or be summoned from around the port. Kirkwall is an old and large city, one of the largest in the world. In fact, one of the 3 largest for the human civilizations. It was originally, and one of the oldest, it was founded originally opposite the capital of the Eberonian Empire, the other side of the rising sea from it, of Drakenheim. Drakenheim fell in the first blight, and half of the rising sea, as well as sort of the heartland of the Eberonian Empire, sits in a corrupted mist of eldritch magic that also allows the blight spawn to roam freely in that area. So it's very dangerous. But Kirkwall still stands, and has become an even more valuable port city in the world because of it, as it is sort of the key connector between the northern and southern portions of the 2 major continents. A lot of trade flows through this city, and it is a very large population because of it. The people are upbeat, but a little bit cynical, perhaps, as Kirkwall has a sordid past, as it suffered from a pretty long history of plagues, violence, lunacy, human sacrifice, and blood magic. As before it was freed from the Eberonian Empire, it was the sort of central passage for the slave trade. from the eastern continent to the western continent and the Eberonian Empire's, again, original capital and current capital now, both of which are on that continent. And the mages that ruled over that imperium spent a long time working with their slave trade to either enhance themselves or look to summon and bound demons or creatures from outer planes to them in ways to gain more power. And Kirkwall saw a lot of that flow and damage. And because of that, it does still have some issues that stem from sort of the long-term damage of some of the more dangerous rituals that were done in there, even though they were hundreds of years ago. But yeah, over the centuries, almost like whole civilizations of slaves just disappeared from the hordes of people that were being passed through it. Until 400 years ago, there was a large-scale uprising that freed the entire Free Marches from the Eberonian Empire, and it's tried to put its past, for the most part, behind it. 200 years ago, it was sacked in a blight war that Silky was participating in, and she also helped to rebuild the cities. You'll see now, if you're looking at the map, it is a very large city with a great number of different districts and ports and harbors that we will likely visit a good many of them. Silky, you all are going to be entering from this port right here, going through Darrowtown, coming from the north. Your house / your son's house is over here in the Coinflow district. Here is Hightown. This is the more noble residential area. The Bitcoin brothel, where you are meant to meet or deliver the letter to the Profashi family, is over here in the Narrow. And you'll notice there's like the Temple District. I don't know if y'all can really read these. You might need to zoom in. But a lot of the different districts do have names, and I'm happy to describe them at any point.
Which direction are we approaching from?
You're approaching through Darrowtown, coming in from Terran Gate up here in the north. You see my
Yeah.
arrow? Yeah,
Yep.
You'll be coming in through here. As
So
you
the
get closer- Go ahead.
The Coinflow district is where Silky used to live or does live.
Still lives.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So, you all are coming in through Darrowtown, and the flow in traffic is only getting heavier as you start to get closer and closer to Kirkwall. And you enter a point where you're essentially walking through somewhat more of, not quite a shanty town, but a little bit of like a mud-ish town. It seems to be a relatively poorer area. A lot of fishermen living around what seems to be a crowded lake. A smaller lake, a little bit outside of the city. And you eventually get to the gate where a guardsman, after waiting in a line and seeing some people pass through, is going to ask what your business here in the city is.
Coming home. Taking my friends to visit my home.
All right. Welcome back. It'll be a culpa from each of you.
You say a copper for each.
Copper per head
Oh.
for entrance.
Did he pay the good man?
Oh, I'll turn to you as I'm doing and say, is this the norm in Kirkwall?
Yeah, it's pretty normal.
Okay.
I mean, not all the guards are great.
I thought they knew you.
Know, I mean, it's better than the silver ahead, which I know they'll charge some people.
I'm not supposed to do that. Anyone charges you a silver a head, you report them to a guard captain. His copper is standard price.
Salrose looks at him and be like, I'll keep that in mind.
He's gonna stand as a fake guard and just charge people money just during the day. I can see that.
trying to get in fights with racist guards.
Yeah.
All
All right.
No trouble.
I
in
hand him
city
the
now,
money.
you hear?
We'll lead on, Silky. It's a pretty big town you got here. What's the first stop?
I think the first stop is we go see my employer. They'll, I sent, like I said before we left, I sent them a letter about all the funny business going on. So hopefully they'll have looked into it before we have. So they'll know if they've heard anything about the ship coming in.
The letter
On
would have only
the-
arrived about a day ago.
Excuse me?
Because of you got here a lot faster than you originally expected, the letter would have only arrived about a day ago.
Well, we'll still pretend we don't know that. So we should still go to my to the Hollingsworth family. So I start walking in the direction of,
Okay, so you're gonna head.
I guess, the
Towards
main
Hightown.
office.
You'll be heading to Hightown,
Yep.
where their manor is.
We take a water taxi.
You can certainly do that.
Silky, on the way, can we stop in and try and get a map or something just so we can all, just in case we get separated? It's a big.
I got the map all up here. You'll be fine. Just stick with me. And I keep walking.
Okay, a lot going on around here, but I trust you.
It is a crowded city.
Do I need to get you like a little leash so we don't get separated, like one of those wrist bracelets?
I'm just saying, if we need to go on trips or split up at any point,
We can get one eventually.
Okay.
I'll draw you one out.
I appreciate
But
it.
let's focus on the important stuff, which is saving my family.
I understand. Okay, lead on.
So I guess I take him to the edge of, hang on,
You're going to
That-
Hightown.
Salder's
headed
Harbor,
to-
and we.
You would be headed to Asher's Hill near Balder Harbor, or Tarpon
Oh my
Harbor.
god. You think I can read these?
Can you-
Oh, I see Asher's Hill.
You need
Yeah.
to. You need to zoom in. I guess I'm at like
I see,
120 to be able to read.
Well, it's more like there's so many names. You just gotta point out.
That's fair. So you're gonna be coming down through Asher's Hill over to here
Hmm.
to catch a water taxi to Hightown. Is what it sounded like you wanted to do.
Yep.
All right.
Save us about 3 hours.
It'll save you about an hour. Yeah. As opposed to having to walk around through all the bridges. He's happy to do it. It is going to be for 6 people, 6 silver, to get from
Yep.
here to here.
Vinny, pay the good man.
Sheesh. We haven't even gotten anywhere yet.
Are there other boats coming up alongside us and playing music of Kirkwall? Selling
Are they
cracker-
giving baby bottles
Like
of
in
tequila
Mexico
out?
City or something. Is there music anywhere? Yeah.
You do see a boat that seems to be parked in Balder Harbor, not far off from where you're getting a water taxi, and you can hear some music coming from it. It's a larger ship, though. Seems to be something of a large party boat.
And they're some delinquent guys on a bachelor party
So-
drinking baby
You do-
bottles
you
of
do hear
tequila
some,
on
You do
it.
hear some people going like, "Kirkwall rules!" from over its edge. Yeah.
So
Did y'all yell Mexico City rules on the bachelor party?
We did not.
In
No.
Spanish,
Don't worry
yeah,
about it.
sure.
Salrose, I know you want to go join them, but don't worry. There'll be a time and a place.
Have we gotten Salrose addicted to drugs yet?
The opportunity
We're
is
working on
there.
it.
I'm working on it. Okay. Give me some time.
Okay, I trust you.
Also, to Dylan, I texted the Not You group saying Salrose might be interested in trying to work on an impersonation of one of the main cultists that we met when we came through the circle. So that might be a thing he's doing while Clark is away.
All right, that's totally fine.
Just a heads up. Otherwise, Rockgut is just floored by how big the city is.
Mhm.
Fair.
What's the water like? Is it like stinky Galveston, or is it like
It's pretty
It's the most
murky.
beautiful water
It's
you've
very
ever
murky.
seen.
okay?
But like that's how they make the bagels so good. It's truly the water from the harbor.
What's a
I do
bagel?
not. I do not eat, and that sounds disgusting.
Is the horse on the boat?
That's a good question.
I probably canceled the summon as the man would have been like, I can't take that. I can't take that.
Yeah.
I don't like. I don't like how it's eyeing me either.
Where did
I'll
Thunder
pat.
go?
I'll pat Thunder on the head and say, "I'll see you later, Thunder," and dismiss him.
That's a nice looking horse, though. I might have to take some notes on its anatomy for potentially becoming it later.
I do not know if I like the sound of that.
You definitely
Rock-
phrased that
Rock
a little creepily,
It's not about
Rockgut.
how big it is, it's about how you use it, okay? Like don't feel intimidated by the horse.
Yeah,
Just-
Thunder's
I'm
got
just
a
saying.
big old dick. That's what we're going with here.
Jesus.
Y'all made it weird.
Clearly, that's what we're going with.
I mean, when Rockgut says, I want to copy his anatomy, what else would it be?
Yep.
There's a proportion to it, is all I'm saying.
Hearing Rockgut say that, I will tell him that Dodd told me there's a menagerie somewhere in the city. I don't know how we're possibly going to find it. The city's huge, but somewhere out there.
Oh, I know
We
where it
want
is.
to-
I mean, I would be very interested in going to see more animals. It seems like this skill I'm developing is only limited by my imagination and the potential of other creatures of this world. You know, I'm trying to branch out from random cave animals that I know from my past, so any opportunity I can get to see new forms of life would be
Yeah.
very
I would say you're
appealing to me.
also somewhat limited by, hey, what's this creepy gnome doing looking at my animal? That
Yeah.
seems to be a limitation so far as well. But at a zoo, I believe it's free, so you can.
I mean, the way this city is going, I don't think anything's free.
I suppose that's true. Ugh.
So, after
Did
a little
we-
bit, you were able to arrive in Hightown. Fairly well-dressed populace. Looks to be mostly wealthy merchants and noblemen. You do see some more poor working folk walking about on their business, and the guardsmen here look to be notably in somewhat of a shinier armor, we'll say. And Silky, you're able to lead them to the Hollingsworth family, and you knock on the door and are greeted by a familiar-looking servant you recognize from your time. He goes, "Yes."
What's the servant's name?
Fuck.
Oh,
I
they don't have
didn't
that.
have a name for him, but we'll call him Jasper.
Horace.
Fuck it, Jasper.
Yeah. Jasper, it's so good to see you.
He's
And kinda go in for
an
the
older
hug.
man who accepts the hug and gives you like a light pat on the back. You as well, Madam Silky. It's been a long time.
Madam Mound.
My mistake.
No. Sorry, I was laughing. It'd be funny. No. Madam Silk is fine. Sorry, I was just laughing. Madam Mound is a funny sentence. That was me laughing.
What can I do for you?
I have I'm hoping to see Mr. Hollingsworth. We have some interesting business we need to discuss with him about. He should be expecting me. Would you let him know I'm here?
It's been a long time. I don't know if you were aware, but the master passed away somewhat recently, about a year ago. You might have heard,
Oh,
but you haven't visited. So, there's,
Yeah,
the son is now Master Soren. Young Master is now head of the house.
Soren. Well,
I'm afraid Soren is out, though, at the moment.
okay.
If you would like, I can set up an appointment.
Dylan? Okay, wait, sorry. I cut out for me, so I didn't catch that last.
He said if you'd like, I can set up an appointment.
I can't. Can you hear me?
I hear you, kind of.
Yeah.
Can you
Oh,
hear
there
me
we
right
go.
now? All right.
Yeah, it's all of y'all for me.
You're cutting
like,
out a little bit for me, too.
That's so weird. Okay.
Did the rest of
give
y'all
me-
hear me? I'm just saying. He's
Yeah,
just,
we
he's
I
just
was
saying.
hearing both of y'all the whole
Yeah,
time, and then y'all
think
were
it was
like,
my.
He's just
looking
saying.
at each
He was
other.
just saying that you could set up an appointment. He could set up an appointment for you to meet him, is what he's saying. But that he's out
An
right now.
appointment.
Yes.
I've been working for this family. I worked for this family for so long. Do I really need an appointment?
Well, he's a very busy man. If you just show up and promptly, he may not be here.
I announced my present that I was coming to see them. I sent a letter about 5 days ago.
Yes, as he hasn't mentioned any letter to me yet, but if he received it, I'm sure he would have been happy to meet you.
Yes.
But even so, Mistress Silky, you know he can't just sit about in his house waiting without knowing when you would show up.
I mean, we both know the old master used to do that.
He was a bit of a lackadaisical man, but Mr. Soren has been having to run around. I'm afraid
Okay.
The former master is passing, and the Hollingsworth family's state of affairs is not doing as well as it once was. They were taken off the
I
Council
thought I
of
heard about
Leaders.
that.
They were taken off the Council of Leaders last year as well. So he's looking to rebuild, as it were, and potentially rise again in some of our power. But
Well,
as
I
I
think
said,
this.
he's been very busy.
Yes. Well, I do think this job could help regain the status of what the Hollings where it used to be, and maybe even exceed it.
Oh,
Um, some I won't go into I don't want to bother you with the details, but what is the soonest we can see Sauron?
Soren.
No.
I'll spell it.
the Dark Lord.
Soren.
I assume that we're all like standing like behind Silky here, right? As they're talking.
Did I move?
Like-
Oh, I didn't move the map. Sorry.
I imagine
like-
so, yeah.
We
Or
were all
upon like
in the parlor.
upon
having
hearing
some-
like Silky like be like an appointment and like get kind of mad, like I'll like elbow rock and kind of like roll my eyes like, yeah, I don't know how much of this is, like what's going on here kind of thing,
I don't understand, but I'll just. Mostly just kind of waiting for
Yeah.
them to figure out what's
It-
going on.
It's very, like I said, it's very urgent, and it hopefully can bring back the status of y'all. I promise you, this is worth everyone's time. So as soon as we can see
Ooh, a
him,
fancy boy.
I will make sure that he's aware. He's not. He actually has not really let y'all in. You're just speaking at the entrance. Although I'm not really sure when the entrance is, if I'm being honest, for this house.
I think it's this white part looks like the patio, maybe. Yeah, this looks like
That's
grand
the,
doors.
That's like the outdoor patio.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
put your
it's-
front door wherever you want it to be.
Yeah.
It's your house.
Yeah, because I
and-
think these white things look like windows.
Yeah. I agree that the white things are windows. I got
So yeah,
no
we're
idea.
bad as a
I'm-
moose.
I'm thrown for a loop. You think
Yeah,
you're
where's
bad
the
as a
door?
moose? Yeah, where's the door, dude?
I do think the patio is the door. The door is
Sure, fuck it.
this
Patio's
brown
door.
stuff on the
You
west
think, You think
side.
it's like where I put the token just now? Oh, you
On
think
the left
it's
side.
No, I think
That's
it's
such a
this.
shitty
This is
entrance
this is the
hall.
door.
Yeah.
Okay. So you think that's the front patio? This is the door. Yeah, I'm on board with that.
Yeah, I don't know how
You're
to.
talking by the moose then. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Um, I will speak with him when he returns, and you still at your residence in the Coinflow district?
You know I haven't moved since I moved here.
I will send a messenger, and we'll get you on his calendar certainly.
Okay. I'll Silky looks around nervously. I guess we'll check in with you tomorrow.
I'm certain we can have someone over with the time to meet by then.
Okay. Like I said, it's very, very
I
urgent.
I understand, and will communicate as such.
Thank you, Jasper.
Anytime.
And how have you been?
Lovely, actually. It's been a pleasure to be able to help the young master step up in society, and of course his sister, Mistress Laura, is also helping as well. She's been a treat.
Laura here?
I'm sure you'll be happy to see them. I'm afraid they're both out. I think they left
Oh, okay.
together.
It would be good. I think last time I saw them, they were like this big, and she like points to like her head, probably like rock gut size.
Yes, they were quite young.
I'll look over at Vinny and says, "You think everybody here is gone? Just him here? Is
It
anybody?"
could be a haunted mansion of some kind. I don't know.
There are some other servants and housekeepers here at the moment, and there are a few guards in the back, more so relaxing. Most of the servant and housekeeping force is actually out at the estate outside of the city limits. There's a little bit more room out there, but you have to keep a place in High Town, right, if you
Of
want to be a
course.
family of good standing.
Well, we look forward to hearing from you.
Of course. Let me know if there's anything else I can do for you.
Nope, just telling them we need to meet ASAP.
I will. I will. And with that, he'll wish you well on your way, and of course give you reassurances that he'll let him know soon.
Yeah.
The second he sees him, that you stopped by and we're hoping for a meeting, and that it was urgent.
Well, that was a bust.
Sounds good.
Well, that was a bust. What's next?
How long has it been since you've been here, Silky?
Well, I've been here basically since the Black War, so closer to 200 years than not.
Yeah.
I thought that was a snake, Connor. For a second, I'm like, what? What's going
Yeah.
on?
I mean the house, like this house in particular.
Oh,
You stopped working for them about 10 or 15 years ago, I think is what we talked
Yeah.
about. You
Oh.
yeah, I went in. I mean, I worked for them
Haven't-
for.
you kept in like contact with more so with the guards than with the family itself, but you still would be like recognized. But when you
Yeah, I
retired, you kind of went like, I'm not working anymore, and backed off.
Yeah, I mean, we've been in contact and stuff. I mean, I worked for 3 or 4 generations for this family. So, but, my time came. I wanted to do something else in my life. So I haven't been in the best contact with them for the last 15 years, but, enough. I've been in their lives. I mean, I remember when Jasper started working here.
Mhm.
So, it's been
What
a
do you-
long time.
What do you know about the young man who's in charge? Is he trustworthy? Like the
I mean,
the
You
father
remember-
or
You remember Soren as a very serious,
Yeah.
some would say broody child, but he was well raised and was a good boy when you spoke to him last.
Yeah.
And his father while being a bit more of a free spirit, was a good man as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's anything like his father. His father and I got along very peachy. Like we left in very good terms. But
The daughter Laura would have also been more so like the father, a bit more of a like free flowing, happy spirit that you liked, while Soren was the boy
Yeah.
that some of the guards, as you recall, like to tease.
yeah, I think Soren takes himself a little too seriously. But all in all, a good man. He wants. I think when my guess is when the Hollinsworth went off the council, it kind of took a little bit from his ego. So I don't know how obsessed he will be with regaining status, but he always seemed like a good boy to me. Much more prevent his sister Laura. I think she would have made a much better head of house.
As long as he'll still help us out, I guess.
I
It is sad to
I
hear,
don't see
though.
why they won't. Yeah, but like we've talked about, like slavery is not okay here in the free marches, and they're able to bust a big slavers trade. I can see that getting them back on the council.
Well, right now we don't have any leads with them. So what's our next plan gonna be?
Should we check the docks?
So you could check in with Silky's family, stop there and see them, as well as where you might be staying tonight. You could check the docks. There are 7 major ports in Kirkwall.
Can we go back to
varying
the big map?
propriety. We can.
Thank you.
You could also stop by. You had business with the Profashi family. You had a letter to deliver. You were told to go to the Bitcoin brothel. You could look to stop there and speak to them as well about it, while waiting on a response from the noble family.
I mean,
So currently you're here.
Yeah.
Bitcoin brothel over here. Mank's house over here.
yeah, I mean, I probably want to go check in since I wasn't able to talk to Soren. Maybe talk to Mank, see if he's seen anything. So I vote going in and checking with Mank because, like I said, my priority is finding the ship.
I mean, the
Do we all
Profashi
need to
family
go?
is the one that like told you where the ship was. So
Yeah, I mean-
if you're just talking about information sources, Profashi family would be the better bet.
I mean,
if you want to see
with
and
the
check in with your family, Mank would be the better bet.
Oh,
The Profashi
Well, I care
family
more
is the
about
one
the
that were
boat.
like, this is where the cove is. We think might be doing the slave. Before they knew your family was involved, they were already
Yeah.
involved with that
Yeah.
bit.
I guess. Well,
So
I know
just saying.
Mank's gonna be okay. No one's want to capture his lazy ass to be a slave, so maybe connect with the Pravashi family. So when the ship does come in, we have backup. Would probably be a good idea.
You don't want to involve your son in all this?
I think you just answered the question. I don't want to involve him. I mean, obviously, I want his help, and I think he could be useful. But if they're capturing furbogs, don't tell him I said this. But the last thing I would want is them capturing Mank and little MJ as well.
All right. Makes sense to me. I agree. Kind of next order of business would be finding anyone else we can ally with in this rescuing operation. Unless anybody has any qualms with it, I think heading off to the Pravachis would be a good course of action.
Sounds smart to me.
Okay. So you start to head south through town to get to the Bitcoin brothel. This is going to be a real big map.
The Bitcoin brothel?
The bit
Bitcoin
I will never not hear it. I'm sorry.
It's as big as a blockchain.
Everything you
Sounds
do
pretty
here
good,
is
Sam.
for forever.
I hate y'all.
You cannot hide.
Damn you.
The ledger.
My serious story about slavery and hardship. Anywho.
Girl
I'm
Margo.
just kidding. We're going to have some fun. So,
Oh,
as you
no.
enter
Oh, boy.
into the Bitcoin brothel, it's a large, very large brothel, an inn, and series of shops. It's more of like an entertainment district.
Yeah.
And you notice,
My
you
friend-
realize you're there pretty fast as you start to see a few working girls and men idling away time, as well as even some potentially some couples that seem to just be enjoying the sort of party vibe that the area seems to give off.
I'm
Vinny and
assuming like
Rockgut,
Vinny. Okay, go.
Vinny and Rockgut, roll wisdom saving throws.
I was about to say, I bet Vinny and Rockgut are like, woo!
Getting pretty anxious, yeah.
Why are they?
So,
I don't understand why they
having
don't.
spent
Why they,
specifically, what's coming into play is some time that you spent lingering in the astral sea here,
Oh.
witnessing Odium a little bit longer, and you recognize the feelings of passion and strong emotion
Horny
that-
jail. Bonk.
that were there with you as you exited the plane, and here you start to feel the swirlings again, and you're able to control yourself, of course. But having failed your wisdom saving throws, Rockgut, you find yourself very distracted, and your normally keen perception is not what it once was, as your eyes are being drawn to a few
Boobas.
parts of some of the women that you walk by. And Vinny, one of the girls approaches you and gives you a wink, and you find yourself immediately tongue-tied. And Rocket, you are going to have disadvantage on perception checks for the next until you take a long rest, and Vinny, disadvantage on any charisma-based checks.
Ooh. Big. That's big. Okay.
Dylan's finally finding a way to gimp our characters.
Talk to girls.
You took a long
Yeah.
time in a realm when I warned you it was a bad idea, and these are
I-
part of the consequences.
I think this would have happened to Vinny anyways, though,
It
honestly,
may have
regardless of...
happened while he was looking at the women, but this is going to be one that basically lasts for the day.
I don't. How is it safe to go out with that little clothing on? Won't they get cold?
I mean, they look pretty dressed when they normally are.
Oh. Oh. Oh.
So
Nothing wrong with it. The
You
oldest
all-
job in the free marches.
you all come to a point, if you can see where I'm dropping your tokens. Who am I missing? Rocket?
I'm busy.
Man, I don't know what it is, why your tokens always have these ailments on when I pull it out of the terminal, but they do. Anywho, so as you all make your way through the assorted ends and eventually come to sort of the more main room, and you enter in and are greeted immediately with more working girls. As you can see dotted
Ooh, ooh.
around, you see a woman singing slowly up in the northern part of. It's not overly crowded as it is about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Probably not peak hours for them, but there's still a good crowd here. And behind the bar, you see a familiar figure. A woman with short black hair that looks very much like Deer's. This is his favorite.
Hang
woman.
on.
Oh, baby.
Having seen Vinny so tongue tied, I convinced him to, see if he can work out his fear talking with women, and write him down a little note.
It's not. That's Deers. It's not one of them.
I mean,
I am saying what I'm saying, and I write down Vinny a little note and say, like, here, you go practice it on this woman at the bar. Connor,
What?
I just texted you something.
I don't want to talk to.
It'll be good for you. It'll be good for you.
pretty
Okay.
sure they want to talk to you, from what I'm seeing.
Yeah. I'll go up to the person? Is there a recognition in their demeanor or their eye when they see us that I can see?
Make a. You can do insight or perception.
Ooh.
Don't seem to be any recognition. She just looks up at you. Hello? What can I
Uh-oh.
do for you?
Hi, I'll like narrow my eyes and kind of lean in like closer. Be like, wait, I must be a deer's tick because I'm stuck on you.
You sort of see a little bit of a grimace come across her face. I'm not that type of working girl. And you don't need to give them pickup lines, which is probably for the best, because that was one of the worst I've ever heard.
You're not.
And
You're
believe
not.
me, you watch her like you see her pouring a drink. Believe me, I hear a lot of them, despite the fact that there are women here paid for attention of men like you. Do you want to drink
You're-
or not?
You're not the. You're not deers.
Excuse me.
You're not.
You know,
I'll just walk away and be like,
you know, dear's Prafashi. And you see
Oh.
her eyes narrow, and you think I'm him.
Oh, I've he's a funny guy, you know, and he like pretends to be
That little rat shit transformed
People.
into me, didn't he? She leans in. You know, do you know what he is? Or what he can do, I should say.
he can make himself look like other things, but
Okay.
I wasn't trying to make a
Just
pass
making
at you.
Sure I'm not giving away any secret of his, but that little rat shit isn't supposed to make himself look like me.
Oh. Well, does it make more sense now? Does the bit make sense?
It was still terrible.
Okay. That's fine. Just I don't know.
Unfortunately, as again you have disadvantage on charisma-based checks. I
Yeah.
think most of your pickup lines are probably not going to land well.
Exactly,
for the
right.
next day.
Right. I just want her to know that there was some. So, can can we talk to him? Is he here?
I haven't seen him for almost a month now. But,
A month has been.
You can talk to his brothers over there, I suppose.
A month has been longer than we've been like together, right? I guess, or
You've been together almost a month.
Okay, all right.
But you've been together like a little over 4 weeks.
Okay.
So she hasn't seen Gears in a while.
Yeah. If you could talk to a deer's brother, that would be very helpful for us.
Yeah.
And some beers.
If you're
5
looking
beers
for
would be
the
good too.
Prafashi family, they're over there, and she kind of thumbs off behind her, where you like leaning around the table. You can see a very shapely tiefling woman,
God.
fairly tall, broad-shouldered, and broad-busted. Seems to be like fiddling with the hair of a light blue man in casual attire, like sort of laying on a couch in a more somewhat sour-looking half-orc with goggles atop his head sits drinking a beer, not really saying anything. The blue man I described is basically like feet up over the back of the couch, head in her lap, just relaxing, and like while she like fiddles with his hair. And I will pull their pictures onto the screen if you're gonna approach them.
I'll go back to the group and be like,
How'd it go?
that was a not that was not Deers. It's not Deers.
Wait, really?
That's a woman that Deers pretends to be. He hasn't been here in a month though, so we might talk to the group of I don't know who they are. The hot tieflings back there, I guess. I don't know.
I kind of look over Salros. Looks like you're kind of date. I don't know who's gonna be Salros, but
She might be a bit out of my age range, but she is quite sultry.
Salty. So I guess we need to talk to them.
All right.
Should we
probably better than nothing.
head over there? I guess. Okay.
You guys have fun. I'll be over here.
I was gonna say, Rockhut, are you off the party?
Oh,
Oh, he's
I go-
huge.
I'm just gonna show you their pictures so you can.
I
sort of
go
see.
over and I just like grab Rock out by the scuff and bring him over with us.
Oh no!
Okay, so y'all all go over to talk to them. I was gonna try to do this a little bit more in Kirkwall. Let me know how y'all feel about it. I'm sure I'll ask in a session, but like these are just to give a bit more of a bigger image. These are the three
Yeah.
people you're seeing there.
Ford, the gentleman, and
The
Lady Lavore.
light blue man seems to have like lines, energy that glow a little bit vibrantly, potentially tattoos, hard to say, along his body, and a bandage over one eye. And as you approach them, the half-orc looks up but doesn't say anything. The woman spares you a glance, and the man of light blue skin has his only revealed eye closed and has not noticed you.
I'm gonna ask Morteza for the letter and see if he can hand it to me. I can't hear Chris.
Hey, here's the letter, Vinny, but I want you to ask that blue-skinned man if he ran with scissors as a child.
If he ran with who?
Scissors, they're used by textile workers to cut cloth. You're not supposed to run with them. Just ask him,
I don't think I want to. I'll see. Okay, I'll see.
Where have we led you wrong?
Well, Vinny thinks that Chris is saying like run with like a gang or something. Like, hey,
The scissors.
he runs with a guy named. And he didn't really hear what he said, so. Shears? Maybe Shears is a more familiar word to Vinny, but hello. I hope we're not disturbing y'all over here. We have a little something to show you from a mutual friend.
He's a Genasi. The Genasi now opening his eye. He's like, "Ooh, that sounds promising. What are you gonna show me, big man?"
First time he's heard that.
Oh,
Did the orc like get up, or is he still sitting there?
he's still sitting there,
Oh, okay.
kind of like thumbing his beer, looking at you a little bit sourly. He hasn't said
Well,
anything yet.
We were in where were we? Sorry. Falkirk? Falkirk.
Lots
Yeah,
of,
yeah,
lots
yeah.
of people get tongue tied around me.
Yeah,
He's like kind of looking up at you from. He's still like head on the lap of the TV.
is he like really tall or
No, he's
or is he average?
He's laid down on the couch, average in height.
I can't tell. Okay. Yeah, we were in a Falkirk and we
Starkhaven is where you were.
oh yeah.
Originally Oakhurst.
Oakhurst to Starkhaven.
A library. It's all confusing. I don't know, but we met some of your friends in Starkhaven, and they wanted us to come down here and say hello to y'all. Do you know
Well, hello. I don't think I have any friends in Starkhaven.
Brorek?
Such a
Brorek?
boring town. Oh, Brorick.
Bro-
Brorick's in
Brorek,
Starkhaven.
Brorek.
He looks over at Sus. Oh my God, Sus. Brorick's in Starkhaven. Oh, and he has to hang out with Creeword. Oh, I forgot about that. That's the worst.
Yeah, I
So-
guess we spent
so-
more time
So it's
talking
kind
to.
of like grunts and is like, Creeword's not that bad. You're giving him a bad rap.
Yeah, I guess we spent more time talking to Creeward than Brorick, I guess. But yeah, we did a little work for them, and they wanted us to come down here and introduce ourselves to you.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you.
I'm I'm Vinny, and this is our
At this
traveling
point, he'll stand up
party.
and he'll kind of like put his hands up as he lands on his feet. Hello. And he puts it, my name is Anders, and he like clasps your hand with both of his and gives you a nice shake. It's a pleasure.
Anders?
Anders. My friends call me
Nice to meet
Breeze.
you.
My friends call me Breeze, though. So you can call me that. It's fine.
Breeze. Wow.
Nice to meet you, Breeze.
Anders Profashi. That's Sosk. He's a Profashi, too. And this is
How are you related to
Nahala. And he gestures at the tiefling, who kind of sticks her hand out, expecting it to be kissed. Nahala.
Are you also a Profashi?
No, I am the proprietress here. Well, one of two. But I'm very familiar with Mr. Profashi.
Are you related
Give
to
him the letter.
Creeward?
No, he's not in the family yet. Maybe one day.
Oh.
He really wants to be.
Okay. Well, would you like to see the letter?
Sure. He said it was for me?
Denny's not positive, but it seems sure.
Soska's gonna say, I think it's probably for Dad, Anders. Or I should say for Father, Anders. They say it was for Mr. Profashi?
Oh, yeah. I guess that's true. Probably don't want to open other people's mail, I guess.
He won't
That could be bad.
mind. It's just me.
Is he here?
No, he's at lunch. Business lunch. I can take you to him.
Why is everyone out?
I'll take you
Everyone's
to him.
always
I'll take you to him.
gone.
I'll take you to him right now. It'll be fine. He won't mind.
I'll ask Silky if she thinks that that's a good idea, or should we do like a your eyes only thing, or should we do we do we give him the letter? I don't know.
Look, we need their help. I think we should go see the head of the family.
I think
Not that I don't
Creeward.
trust you, Breeze.
Yeah, I think Creeward and Brorek wanted us to talk to Mr. Profaci ourselves.
I don't mind. Like I said, happy to take you right to him. Sosk is kind of, you do notice Vinny, not Rockgut, who's still very distracted. But Vinny, Morteza, and Warden, you notice that Sosk seems to have like a little bit of a deepened frown, like it seems like a bad idea to interrupt
Double 8 batteries by now.
whatever
Yep.
Mr. Profaci was doing.
Oh,
Yeah, that's probably right.
Yeah.
But Anders is all on board and is trying to whisk y'all away, even now. Let's go, come on. I was getting kind of bored here, anyways.
Hey, Vinny, why don't you go on ahead?
What?
What?
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. I'll keep myself busy.
I'll just take you all to his restaurant. No, come on, your aesthetic is so perfect. He's gonna love you. With your turban.
Yes,
Your
but
little
you're
beard, and he's
my
gonna reach out and
aesthetic.
try to touch your goatee.
Please do not touch.
Oh, okay.
oh, you like medium powerful men, Morty.
Yeah, he's really powerful.
I mean, I don't know how to put this, but this man's a water genasi. I'm a fire genasi. We can't be.
I'm not a water genasi.
You're blue like one.
Racist.
No, I'm a storm genasi. That's why they call me Breeze. Ooh.
That's still pretty
I'm
close to
very
the plane of
free-flowing.
water.
But storms have lightning, which are fire.
He'll kind of lean in. Like,
What?
No, you're a fire genasi, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm like an air genasi. So I blow you a little, and you get bigger, right? That's how it works.
I don't think that's how it works. I don't think so.
I'm so sorry. Out of character.
That-
This is
no,
what Breeze would do, damn it.
I'm sure he would.
Dylan couldn't seduce me with his female characters. Now he's got to go a different route.
Breeze hits on everyone. I think at one point, you'll have to let me know how I'm doing, because what I tried to use as inspiration for Breeze is supposed to be What's His Ass from Umbrella Academy.
Yes, I'm pro that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 4.
No. Number, I think he was 3, wasn't he?
No
Who
idea.
named Kids Next Door?
The drug.
He's
Druggy?
the druggy
I-
one. that
I
can
can't
see-
remember
that
which
speaks
number
ghosts.
is
I can't remember
which.
his name. Yeah, maybe it was number 4.
Oh.
The only one I know by number is 5, to be honest.
Yep.
But,
I mean that's
Yeah.
his name.
that's what he goes by. But yeah, he's supposed to be. That's what he's supposed to
Klaus.
be. Klaus. I was trying to base him on
Klaus, yeah.
Klaus. And I think Klaus would have said that. So. Anywho, come on,
He's-
guys. Just go talk to Daddy Dearest real quick. He's not gonna mind.
I mean-
He's done with his lunch. It's almost 3 o'clock. Who has lunch now?
I mean, I'm okay with it. Do y'all want to go? I don't want to go by myself. I don't think.
No, I'll go with you. I'll go with you.
That
Oh.
seems like a.
It's
Rocket,
involving
are
my
you-
family.
Huh?
I'll grab
Okay.
him.
Okay.
We will come.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So fun. Yay.
There's just so much here, though.
I grab Rocket and put him on my shoulders.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
I guess we're going. All right.
you have to do that
I
for
would-
me later.
Did
I
we
would
notice
do
who the lady was on the top right of us in the black? Did we
She
notice
was-
her?
She was singing. And when
Oh, okay.
Paula said she was one of 2 proprietors, she would have motioned over towards her.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So Nahala and apparently that woman are sort of the owners or that run the day-to-day for this brothel.
What about the
which
night
the
tonight?
The Profashi family literally owns. And apparently some members of the family enjoy just chilling at. So,
Thank you for not putting NPCs in the rooms to have us imagine them doing it or whatever.
What? What's wrong with that, Vinny?
Or you could have. That'd be kind of funny, actually.
Would have been a very populated inn.
Yeah.
If that's the case.
it is. Believe me, it's populated. But yeah, it's,
didn't
it's
realize
very-
Vinny
it's
was
very
such a
large
Puritan.
set of inns, I guess. So with that, Anders or Breeze, whatever you prefer to call him, begins to lead you through the city. He's like, it's not far. Don't worry about it. We're pretty close. He's just at a restaurant around the corner. And you'll walk for about 20 minutes. You're actually heading back towards Hightown. And you arrive here.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah. So ignore the squares on this map. They are way too big
Mhm.
for the tokens. Like one
You're
square is
saying
the
each
size
table
of
is
a
not
table.
Yeah, 5
So
foot
I wasn't
tables.
having that, so I resized
So-
it.
Yeah.
So you'd be like, "Come on, guys!" And now I'm going to show you a lot of characters. So if you don't really care for seeing the characters larger, now is probably the time to tell me, because I'm going to pull in a few of them here.
I liked it.
Fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Lets me picture them all as being huge giants for some reason, even though they're
Well,
not.
as you get closer, it's a pretty populated area, and you start to
Oh my
see
God.
in the back corner. You see Suki walking in. Initially, a table to your right catches your eye as you think you spotted a familiar face. Looks to be a group of like wealthy, younger, potentially nobles sitting there eating
Mhm.
or discussing. But Breeze is leading you towards the back. The first 2 that you see is on a elevated table. You initially notice a very serious-looking dragonborn who is yoked and holding no weapon, and sort of like standing menacingly at the top of the stairs on a little bit of guard duty. And then you notice a woman that's got a large warhammer, pink hair, and pale skin, standing about 7 feet tall, lean back on the other set of table. That's those two. Sat down, you notice a few people, which I'll pull in now. This guy, you see a blue tiefling that has an owl, a white owl, sat on his shoulder.
Guys are styling.
You see a fairly pretty, whoa, she is huge, fairly pretty woman with black hair, piercing green eyes, wearing a coat. Instead of that like white truffle though, it is raven feathers near the top. You see another man sat next to her that looks very, very similar to her, also black hair and green eyes, and in a similar colored coat. Let me do the last guy before I do my boy, Mr. Profashi.
Mr. Profashi.
And then you see, somewhat offsetting the more stylistic crew at what seems to be like a fairly slovenly, heavy-set man sloshing some wine. No neck to speak of. And sat next to him is a very broad, you can tell he's probably very tall as well. Gray. It looks like he might be like a tiefling, but it's kind of hard to place. It's like if a Goliath was given a tiefling's horns and a neck that looks like it might have literally come off a thing of marble, as a large man is sat with a cigar coming out, rakes down his face, and a serious look as he listens to the merchant speaking next to him. And that's Mr. Profashi.
I think we're underdressed.
The name's Profashi. Gonna give you an offer you can't refuse.
You don't refuse any offer from this motherfucker. So, as you enter, Breeze is gonna approach the. Are you serious looking at her? Ubak! These guys want to talk to Daddy real quick. Do you mind if you just let them through? Oh, okay.
We have. I kind of step forward. Who do we have a letter from?
Creward.
I kind of step forward. We have a letter from Creward to Mr. Profashi.
You were speaking. I'm sorry. Upak's gonna be. One moment, please. One moment, please. He steps back.
I feel like this was ill-advised to come now.
Fine. They're happy. They have food. We'd rather
You're like-
them not be hangry.
He's got
I
like.
feel like they could hang out
probably
there for
got-
hours.
He's probably got like two glasses of wine in him. That's the perfect amount.
Optimal buzz.
In your experience, what's the best time to talk to Mr. Profashi? Are we hitting about that crest?
He said two glasses of wine.
Yeah. 2 glasses. That's perfect. He's
I think
super
we-
nice. Don't worry about it.
I think we've done pretty well then.
His eyes. You notice him essentially talking to the table, and gives a hand motion, like basically saying like letting y'all come forward, and Upak steps to the side and motions his head forward. The blue tiefling standing and moving to the side so you can come forward and speak. I'm in the middle of a business lunch right now. My good friend here, Mr. Brian Tudona. You're interrupting. We can speak briefly, but there may be some things you would rather talk about in private afterwards. Is there something urgent I need to address now?
I'm gonna look around the group and see if somebody else wants to take this one.
When Vinny looks at
Okay.
me, I shake my head.
We have as I announced earlier, we have a letter from. Please remind me the name again. Creward. Creward. I do not remember name at all. I apologize. We have a letter from you from Creward, and we have some I think mutual beneficiary business relating to the DeSantis family that we both should probably address as soon as possible. I just like Dylan's faces.
He kind of like
Dylan, can you sit
with
closer to the camera?
Dumb. Yeah.
kind of with
I
his
wish the
hand,
screen was bigger.
he
Yeah.
motions at the two black-haired humans sat to the side, and they both stand. Come with us. We'll help you.
Yes.
He'll
Rex
come
Hildon
and,
and Rexalia.
He'll come and speak with you when he's got some time.
Who are y'all?
He's got to wrap up this dinner. I'm Eliza Bethon Prafashi, and this is my brother, Ricky Prafashi.
Ricky.
Ricky.
Wait, so the big guy is the
Head of the
Bryant?
The big guy is the large merchant.
Yeah.
Slot-only looking merchant. Yeah, it's Brian
Yeah.
Jonah, baby.
Oh my god.
He's something of a hotel conglomerate owner.
I kind of.
Did only Connor catch that?
No, I
For
caught
what?
it too.
Okay.
I don't think Warden would have
Oh,
caught
that's
it.
That
right.
merchant he's
Oh,
sitting with is the guy that owns the Ugly Harpy chain.
Oh. I kind of bend down and whisper to Breeze, is this a good thing or a bad thing?
Probably good.
Okay. Having, seen how Breeze and I have made a connection, I'll trust him. And I'll follow the two. Those who
The tiefling
don't.
is also gonna kind of stand up and follow y'all at this point.
I'll
Like a
kind
party
of, who's
now.
that? Who's that?
And Ricky bends forward and whispers something in Eliza's ear, and she's like, oh, I've got this. And if Lucy's coming, it's fine. If you want to go back and stay with
Daddy.
dear old dad. He kind of like gives her a sardonic look and then turns to walk back.
Dylan with all these big words.
This is an
Smart
educated
boy.
This is an educated family.
Need more strife.
They're gonna have a vocabulary to match. So,
Free word.
Silky, before you are able to fully exit, someone catches your eye from the table and sort of like shoots up from where she's sitting and gives you a wave and like motions that you'd come over here, and you recognize
It's Laura.
a very pretty brown-haired girl with bright blue eyes and a happy smile, who seems to have blossomed into a beautiful adult from the child that you recognized.
From Rock size.
As this girl motions you over and stands to give you a hug.
Yes. Laura, it's been too long.
Oh my gosh, are you really Silky Mound? I have not seen you in forever. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I was actually just at your house looking, I guess now for your brother. I'm so sorry to hear about your
brother.
brother.
Silky. Oh, I know. It was a while ago, but thank you. It means a lot. And another more somber-looking man with brown hair stands. Soren Hollingsworth walks up.
Sorry,
and
one
takes his hand.
second.
You're good.
What? Sorry. Let me put my other headphone in. There's a dog barking, so Margot had to say hello. Sorry, you were saying?
So, another somewhat more serious-looking boy with similar brown hair stands and extends his hand. The pleasure to see you again, Silky.
I of course give him a hug.
Oh, he clearly wasn't expecting it. Kind of like awkwardly.
Wait,
Soren.
Soren, congratulations. Sorry for your loss, but congratulations on your promotion. I've thoroughly haven't seen working for your family for so long. I can tell it's going to be under good hands under the two of y'all. Kind of putting my hands on both their shoulders.
Well, just thank you. It means a lot. By the way, I received a letter from you.
Yes, I was just
Serious
I was
note,
actually
serious words. I'd like to speak on them more when you have time.
I was actually just at your house. We're meeting with the Perfashri family right now, but maybe again, I would like to meet as soon as possible. So maybe tonight or tomorrow.
He glances over towards the corner, and then at the little group that you have, all of your friends likely standing over here. Eliza and Breeze are kind of like checking out the table, going like, some pretty young nobles over there. Breeze gives him like a little wave as he looks over. I don't know what the rest of your party is doing. Are y'all saying hello? Or...
I'm looking at Rockgut and I'm seeing if he's just like staring at the pretty girl, and I'm assuming that he is.
There's two pretty girls at that table.
Or the first one that came up to Silky, and he's just like,
Rocket, are you still on my shoulder?
Pink-haired girl.
Yes.
Rocket's looking back at the pink-haired girl, being like, "What? She was? We want to go? Oh, okay, we're going this way. All right."
That girl would crush.
Is Rocket just drunk?
That girl's got 20 strength.
No.
She would destroy you, Rocket.
Maybe that's what Rocket's into. You don't know. I
don't think Rocket's into anything.
So, Soren is gonna turn and say, well, before you go, let me just introduce you real quick. Where are my manners to my friends here. That is Edmund right there, and he points at the.
Okay, sorry.
I'll wait until everyone's listening. It's okay.
I was distracted.
That right there is Edmund, Dumar's oldest, his son. And that's his sister there, Carolyn. That is oh, I'm sorry. I gave their name as the Hawk family, but what I meant to give their name as was the Amel family. That's my bad. I fucked up my own notes.
It's okay.
The old Viscount that got kind of replaced. They're the Mel family. And the Dumars supplanted them when there was no apparent successor. That there is Cullen Amel, and that is Alexander Vale, the redhead in the corner. He is out of Starkhaven, one of the first prince of Starkhaven, and is here seeking news of the Inquisition that's apparently starting here. But they're a good bunch.
Inquisition?
Yeah.
And I'll show you their pictures real quick.
Yeah.
What's there to inquire about? Seems like everything's going just fine around here.
Oh.
That's Laura Hollingsworth. This is Soren on the right.
Very serious.
Yeah, he's Laura's a happy one. That's Edmund Dumar.
Yeah.
He's a hot one.
Ooh.
Alexander Vale, the redhead. Carolyn Dumar. And Cullen Amel.
This town's full of hot people. Nothing
I'm an example.
They're all the noble families as well, so centuries of breeding attractive people.
My fantasy world has only hot people in it.
Exactly.
Right.
The ugly people are all the peasants
poor
that
people.
I don't.
Yeah, they're all the poor
I don't
people.
give tokens to. I don't give tokens to the ugly.
right.
They're all in Darrow Town.
Yeah.
They all love me.
Or I give them to the merchants that I get to make very obviously not good people. Totally not talking about Bryant though, or whatever. Anywho. Come by later, Silky. I can't wait to speak more with you. And the others all give sort of greetings. Cullen, who was trying to talk up Caroline, apparently, is sort of giving her a half-hearted greeting around her while she waves at you, and Edmund gives a nod, and Alexander stands and actually bows a little bit from the other side of the table.
I slightly bow back.
He smiles. And they return to their table, and
Yeah.
Soren is going to turn to you and say, would you be available to speak or stop by sometime tomorrow, then?
Name a time and I can be there.
How would 10 a.m. Perhaps some morning tea and business.
I love morning team business. Sounds great.
I look
Thank
forward to seeing
and thank you again. Your help will mean the world to me.
With the news that you brought, I would, of course, go to the utmost. Would it bother you horribly if I perhaps invited some other acquaintances to speak on it? Potentially some of the people
Yeah.
at this table, actually. I
If-
can keep it private if you'd rather.
My biggest concern is I don't want to cause a frenzy. I don't want, random people. If you trust them, then and I trust you,
I would only
You
speak of it to people that I thought could help.
then I fully trust you. The more help we can get, the better. It's my family, and anything can help. I would appreciate it greatly.
All right. Then I'll see you on the morrow.
See you tomorrow. I look forward to it.
He gives you a nod and goes back to the table.
Ooh, I like the labels. Labels are good.
Labels help. Yeah, I'll try to do
Labels
that
help.
with the names.
So I think with a lot of people, labels are going to help a lot
Mm-hmm.
because I will forget everyone's name
Okay.
unless it's Deers.
And Mr. Profaci.
And Dodd.
Hey. Oh, I already forgot about that.
Are you Dodd or are you Todd? I don't know.
All right.
Wait, isn't Clark's name something Dobb?
Todd Dobbs.
Todd
Is
Dobbs.
his-
Clark is Todd Dobbs,
Oh,
yeah.
Todd Dobbs.
Maybe.
I mean, that guy was much cooler than the real Todd Dobbs. I always how I picture Todd Dobbs to be. I figured him to be kind of creepy.
As you break away from them, and Eliza sort of tries to like wrap her arm in yours. So who are the hot boys?
Wait, sorry, was this to me?
Yeah, it is.
I kind of wave everyone over.
Oh,
So,
they're not trying to introduce themselves to everyone right now. It's just kind of
Okay.
a cursory greeting. But as they've mostly now gone back to their discussion over lunch.
got it.
But as you all start to leave the restaurant, Eliza will say, I think, I know Anders was just saying that you were just coming from the brothel, but I think we might go and use one of the meeting rooms there and wait. And Mr. Prefanchi will be joining us shortly. Sound good to you all?
Of course.
Agreeable.
I think we can make that work.
Lovely. All right, away we go. And she's gonna pull you all
Back to the
back to the brothel.
Back
To the
brothel
hideaway.
again. The Bitcoin.
Back to the Bitcoin brothel.
And as you walk, she's like, "Would it? I suppose one of the penthouse bedrooms might make you all a little uncomfortable, or I don't know
Works
what,
for
what
me.
y'all's experiences are like. We can do a dining room, just about whether you want a couch or a chair."
For me, this is a business meeting. I would prefer a chair.
Okay, of course. And you all enter into. Do you see where I dropped your tokens down to the south?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna.
I
yeah,
saw there.
I'm
We're also
delete-
in the north.
I know. I'm deleting those.
Ah,
Oh wait,
So
how
we're
far
back-
south? I gotta
Right
zoom
by the
out.
water.
Okay,
South.
I gotcha.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to zoom out.
so we're back at the original place.
Mm-hmm. This room's kind of small, but this
We
map is.
couldn't just stay
This
here.
map was so hard to size.
We could
Sorry.
have just hung out here while they came to us. I mean, look at all these people that we left.
I cover Rocket's eyes.
Gotten
Well, I
into
mean,
you.
I'm appreciate.
You enter into more of a private dining room after a moment. Anders starts to lounge on the couch. Eliza takes a stands sort of near the head of a dining table, and Lucci, the blue tiefling, has not said anything at all, but he is still accompanied by an owl that sits upon his shoulder.
That's a nice owl you got there. What's its name?
Thank you. The owl seems to speak back to you, as you don't notice Lucci's lips moving at all.
Did the owl just talk?
Yes.
Oh,
My name's Rob.
Robker?
Rob, just Rob.
Well, hello, Rob. I don't meet many talking owls.
One of a kind.
One of a kind. Wow. What brings your majesticness to Kirkwall?
Work for Mr. Profashi.
Oh, are you a Profashi as well?
Yes.
So you're Rob Profashi. Oh, So it's just.
And this is Lucci. And he you kind of notice his wing twitch a little bit to the right. This is Lucci.
Oh, Lucci Profashi.
The tiefling bows a little bit.
Oh.
This.
Rob, do you speak for Lucci?
I try.
Well, you're doing great, sweetie.
You notice Lucci smile at that.
Rocket is furiously memorizing all the aspects of this owl.
God.
Make a perception check with disadvantage. As you
He's looking at him like
because you're horny.
Rocket, this isn't a great horn owl, it's a snowy owl.
Was that a nat 20?
Yeah.
It was.
Rocket would make it a great horned owl.
Rocket. You might have noticed something going on there with your natural 20, but with 12, you're very distracted still at the back of your mind as you.
All the blood flowing somewhere else.
Where are the babes?
All right, wings, head, tail, got it. Yep.
So.
Yep.
It's an owl.
While Lucci enjoys his show, thought we might get started on talking business. Once Mr. Profashi comes along, we'll take that to the next step. You mind giving me a quick recap on what's going on here? What keyword needed? Mind if I see the letter?
Do you speak for Mr. Profashi?
I do.
All right. If we still have the letter, I guess we'll give it to her.
All right.
Yeah, no reason not to.
So she.
Well, it is for Profashi.
An unbroken seal from him as well. Looks like Broric's seal. Quite nice. And she flicks it open.
We have two other Profashi members here. If she tries to do anything funny with it, we can catch her pretty easily, I think.
She'll look over from the top of the letter at you as you say that. I wouldn't be worried about that. I'm sure you lot could handle me easily. I'm not much of a fighter, although I'm pretty confident in my escaping skills. But regardless, my brother and I, we help Mr. Profashi with his business. We've been with him a very long time. Breeze over there is somewhat unreliable, but we like him still. Lucci also works with Father, gives him some insights that he needs. And she reads through the letter. So a run-in with the slave trade based out of Starkhaven. The DeSantis family, and thoughts that powerful noble family in Kirkwall is involved as well.
That's about it. Yep.
Well, I think we have quite a bit more to add.
Yeah.
There's also some updates just in general on how they're doing with taking over Starkhaven. Seems they've got the whole Thieves Guild working for them already. That's good news. What else do you have to add?
Should we just like cast like exposition and just tell him
You
everything?
You can just say
or-
that you're telling her everything, or you can mention what you want, or say I want to say what happened recently, but hold out certain parts. Like maybe don't say how you got to Kirkwall, but tell her about Soki's family being enslaved. Y'all's call.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I would
yeah,
tell
well,
them
Yeah.
Mostly
all
about
the
last
stuff
bit.
except for the part
The
with
library.
Hawkney and the library. Just
Yeah.
like say that we came from the cove to here. Like we've just been
Yeah.
trying to get here.
No need to mention the library when trying to tell them how competent and capable we are.
Right, or interplanar travel or anything like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
just
So as you
It's
give-
good old-fashioned slave trade.
As you give her your explanation, she'll look over towards Silky with a hint of sadness. I'm terribly sorry. I didn't know. That's dreadful.
Yeah. It's.
And
I mean, I
Breeze-
wouldn't expect
Breeze
you to
also
know.
like kind of like leans over on the couch and like puts his hand. He's like lying down vertical, and like or horizontal, and like puts his hand on your knee, and he's like, "I'm really sorry too. That's really terrible."
I put my hand over. Thank you, Breeze. I appreciate it. But as we're explaining, we're hoping you can help us get them back.
So you think you beat the ship here? How'd you manage that?
Well-
This guy can summon a horse.
Must be quite
I-
nice.
So that helped.
Gonna show us your steed, Mr. Metal Man.
I do not feel like it.
Warden, show them the horse.
All right, and I'll summon Thunder.
Alright, 1 second.
There's like a crack of thunder.
does it fit inside the room even?
It takes him 10 minutes.
Yeah, it takes me 10 minutes.
Oh my-
So
It is worth it. It is worth
It's
it.
like, give me a moment.
give me-
It doesn't usually take this long, we promise.
no, it usually takes. this
No,
long.
no, it does.
But the point is, we were all mounted and were able to cover a lot of ground very quickly because, as you can imagine, this is a very important, pressing issue for us.
Most of us didn't sleep on the way here.
Thunder. After 10 minutes, Thunder is summoned, and around the same time, oh shit, around the same time,
You're just there now.
Mr. Pravachi strolls in.
Oh lord.
Walks in as Thunder is being summoned. Oh god!
Yeah, that's what's happening here.
Pretty much.
You just hear thunder.
He walks in. Behind him is the Dragonborn, and you recognize also Sosk from who you met originally at the brothel. And he kind of eyes the horse that is standing right before him. Is this? Man, I might need to go a deeper octave. Might need to pull out that voice changer again. Was this necessary for the story?
I was coerced into this.
Absolutely necessary.
Oh, horse.
You see him glare over the horse at Breeze and like raise an eyebrow. Wasn't me. As Eliza's like, that might have been my fault. Sorry. And I'm assuming you dismiss your horse at this point.
Yeah. If he, I'll dismiss the horse, so I just waste a second level spell slot.
Oh my god.
It's okay. It's okay. We'll probably take a long rest soon.
Gotta get him on our
All
side.
right.
We just
Yeah.
wanted to show we were being entirely candid with you, I guess. Including showing that we could in fact summon
Well,
a demon horse. I guess.
I left Ricky to speak to Bryant and wrap up that business.
Ricky.
so that we can get started. And Eliza at this point is going to relay what you told, as well as handing him the letter, which he reads through. And he putting it down is like, so, the slave trade coming back to Kirkwall.
It's already here. I mean, well, it's on its way. Yes, yes.
And you think this ship brings your family here? Alright,
Well,
we can find it. I'll tell you right now, the only way a ship with people in its belly gets into and then out of Kirkwall is by going around the law. And there's two ways around the law. Under, and he kind of like spreads his arms, gesturing around the room, and over. They're either trying to bribe a dockmaster in one of the shitty harbors to not be noticed, or they're working at one of the better harbors with the help of a noble family and a dockmaster that won't even have to be bribed. I can watch every bad harbor here, and if they try to land at one of them, I'll know. And he kind of smirks. I own half of them, so that wouldn't be a problem. But if they are trying to work over the law, we need to know which noble family is working with them. And we would need help from some of the families that are more in charge of patrolling that law, those ports, to spot it.
Silky pipes up. I think we can help with that. I used to work for the Hollinsworth family, and I'll be talking with them tomorrow, so we can probably leverage them for help.
Makes sense. I saw you speaking with the young Masters Hollingsworth on your way out.
Yes, sir.
Alright. We'll do what you can to get their help as well. I'll start getting my men on it, and in return, I'd like some help from you all as well while we find this ship.
Yes, we'll do about anything to help get my family back. What do you need?
So I'm gonna take my people and have them watching these ports and working with the docks there, and we're gonna know the second any ship lands here, or if it's already here where it is. And I swear to you, the second I do, you'll hear as well.
How would be the best way to communicate?
We'll stay in touch. Send a little birdie over. Don't worry.
Oh,
Liza.
like Rob?
Haha. Rob is not so easily separated from Lucci. Cool, that's right. Cool. Damn it.
Luigi.
Eliza will work as your use. Is probably how he would have said it. Eliza will work as use handler.
Guys.
She'll stay with y'all and work closely with you, and your point of contact, and she'll be able to notify you if anything happens. Breeze can help as well, probably. And Breeze kind of like grins from the couch. Thanks for believing in me.
You'll do right.
I'll have Ricky, Upak, and Sosk working on the harbors, as well as probably Lucci. So in return, I had two other things going on that they're not going to be able to handle now. That might be within your range of expertise based on this letter. One, I've had some disappearance of bards. They've been getting kidnapped or some such after performances at certain taverns, and one of them recently, owned by Mr. Bryant, who I was just speaking with, and one of my own. That's bad for business. It gives us a
I
better
can
map.
imagine.
So I want y'all to figure out what's happening to those bots. Fix it. The other thing can be handled afterwards, but it's a smaller gang that's causing some issues, and I think might be smuggling raw, untreated tevium into Kirkwall. The kind of stuff that does uncomfortable things to magical people.
Do we see Cyrus like salivating?
I'm glad we're gonna have
He
some
probably
really big
twitches.
Tall Rose
We're
story.
probably kind of
Twitches.
anxious about the
I love that
bards
he's
going
only
missing.
I hope
it.
Clark's here for these next couple sessions, because these are
I
the
love that he's
his
only used it
moments.
once.
When the bards are
I
going
didn't-
missing, he's like kind of like confused, and then he hears the Tevium, and he's like,
Oh baby.
With the
but then
Tevian,
tries
we're
to
gonna
hide
need
it.
to tie him to a tree.
Yeah.
I'll bring that scene back up again.
But do speak.
I'll look over it.
Do speak with the nobles still, to make sure that gets sorted, and Liza can help with planning and coordination on the other tasks while we find that ship.
I'll look over at Vinny and say, do we want to tell him about like the other thing? You know, following us. Trying to keep my voice down.
Oh, I'll shake my head like no.
Okay. But then I will look at Mr. Vacci and say, you have the description of the ship, right? We have a pretty good idea of what it looks like.
You gave him the description and the name of it.
Okay, cool.
The important catch is the cargo, really. Is like any ship that docks is going to be inspected. And any ship that doesn't get inspected in one of the shitty or one of the more like criminal underbelly ports, he's saying he would know about.
Gotcha.
And at this point, he's going to essentially lay out, so there's 7 ports in Kirkwall. I'll take out the map. Now you can roughly divide these ports into 2 different sections each time. Some of them just one. Some sections tend to be a bit seedier than others. Smogwater over here. You can see where I'm pointing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tends to be one of the more less looked at ports for things coming through it. But I own the dockmasters there. And I'll know if anyone tries to dock there with human cargo, or furbolg cargo, I should say. The southern Morngate port can see a little bit of that as well, but the Narrows, Morngate Harbor, also are where I do most of my business. Not a problem for me. The Freeman's Harbor and the Thelonian Harbor, no chance. Those are straight up. Those dockmasters aren't going to take bribes for human cargo, and they're not really organized or ran by any noble families. That just leaves Targan Harbor, Balder Harbor, and Silver Run Harbor. Southern Silver Run Harbor, also no dice in my mind. North of Silver Run Harbor is owned by the Amel family still. I'll check with them. Targan Harbor is owned by the Dumas family. And Balder Harbor is split between the other 3 major noble, or the other 2 major noble families in Kirkwall, as far as guard supervision and making sure. It's essentially making sure that the taxes get paid and everything gets tracked properly. So the Hollingsworth should be able to help you there. You can speak to the Amel family and the Dumas family. You can get Targan and Silver Run, and I can handle the rest. And we'll know the second that ship docks. Sound like a plan? Alright.
Sounds like a plan.
Kind of like stretches and you hear his neck crack. Anything else you all need from me for tonight then?
What comes to mind?
Well, then I'm gonna go say hi to a lady. And he steps out. And with that, we didn't really get to do a lot of like. I'm sorry, it's been a lot of RP and social encounters recently. After a
all
long
good.
enough dungeon, combat and the like is coming soon.
We're finally here.
You're in Kirkwall. Congratulations.
I would
You
ask,
made it.
I would ask Eliza
We
about
did it, Joe.
where a good place to sell some random shit might be. Since I don't trust Silky, who hasn't been here in seems like forever.
Well,
I have been here plenty of times.
What kind of shit are you looking to sell?
Whatever's in
Talking
Vinny and
magical or a little bit more mundane?
whatever's in Barry. I don't have a up-to-date
Whatever's in
inventory.
Barry.
Well, if you make your way over to the Cornflow District, you can find most types of stores. I'm sure that you'll be able to sell most goods there. Bronze Hill is nearby, and that tends to have a good number of blacksmiths. A lot of dwarves too, so, you know, if you're selling armor, make sure it's the right height. Little taller than you, you know, a little shorter than me. If you make your way up a little bit more in the northern part of the city, you'll find the Escarlin district, and it might have a better shot for magical items up there. There's a cool place. Steve's stupendously shiny store of spellbound things. It's a strange name, I know, but it's a lovely shop. Interesting collection, and would recommend it.
I'll be sure to take a note of that. I appreciate it.
Alright. Unless y'all want to do anything else this session, specifically the only really other thing I would think would be on it would be going to see Silky's family, but I think we could also start up next session with that and call it here.
Yeah, that sounds
Sounds good.
good to me.
So then is there anything
Wouldn't
else
want
you
Clark
do
to miss it.
just to wrap up? Or we're going to call it here?
Unless we're seeing Silky's family today, I guess find an inn for the night. You know, base of operations.
Eliza would, at this point, likely say, well, we're happy to be able to find beds for you all here.
Yeah,
We'll
what
make sure
time of...
we'll make sure they're clean.
Is it nighttime now?
No, it's only like 4 or 5 o'clock afternoon. We'll say that you spoke with the Profashi family until about like 5 or so.
Let's get our rooms, and then maybe we can explore next episode. Not go to bed, but just like.
I mean, Silk is gonna want to sleep in her own house.
It's fine. You certainly have time to be able to go to Silky's before the end of the day, but you know, next session.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was pointing to.
Eliza also would briefly discuss a strategy, or would be available to briefly discuss strategies for handling the Bard investigation.
Yeah.
The mysterious.
Investigate a few taverns. Perhaps visit Guitar, the Bardic
What
College.
What did you call me?
Sweet.
I want to go to Mario Town. What's in Mario Town? On the bottom right, Mario Town.
Oh, it is Mario Town, isn't it?
Is that what it says?
That's where the plumbers live.
That's where, I'm gonna make that into Gnome Town, and they all have mustaches.
Hey, take me to Mario Town.
Hey, my people.
Hello. Welcome to the.
Hello, would you like to
Town of
buy some
Happiness.
slaves?
Old man's rock.
The entrance to the sewers is over there.
You go in through a big pipe.
I think as
A
long as you have,
giant
like,
green pipe. Yeah.
Oh.
as long as you have someone to talk to about like potential beds for tonight, if Silky's doesn't work out,
You do.
Rocket would want to know which direction at least the menagerie is. So like, if Eliza would know like, oh, it's in this part of town, that'd be fine.
I know where it is. I used to take Mank there as a child. Don't
Alright,
worry.
fair enough.
I'll get you there.
We know where places to sell
It is like
stuff
my
is,
7th priority to do that. Don't worry. It's on the
but
list.
it's top of my list.
And I don't care.
You saw that owl though, right?
Yeah,
That was sick.
it
Yeah.
talked too.
All right. Well, with
Pretty
that,
confused by that.
Yeah,
that's
we'll
it. That's
we'll
it for this
figure it out
session.
next week.
What'd y'all think about the Profanci family?
He's
There's
Loved
so
all the
many
characters.
Profashis.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah. There's
So
a
many
lot.
hotties,
And
man.
I'm,
This
So
one
many
I'm
I'm
hotties.
hoping to be able to give you all some interactions with them, or at least some impressions of them. But there's like 7 of them.
at least the
Some of them are
hotties.
going to be more quiet muscle. Eliza and Breeze, I was planning on having essentially be your handlers for the next few quests.
I
Sounds good.
believed Breeze when he said that he was like the actual son of like the Profaccio. I was like, I don't know. I guess this guy's trustworthy enough. Maybe this
Yeah,
is
that's
like the
something
mint.
I'm hoping to figure out, like who's actually like the Profashi family. Like, how is
Yeah.
everyone related?
That will certainly be something you'll have the opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Rocket was just like enamored with breasts for half of this.
I was wondering if Rocket was going to be a breast guy or a butt guy, Sam. You got to think ass is right at eye level for him.
That's true.
Oh, but
But
like,
he likes to look up, apparently.
He sees it so
Yeah.
much
Yes.
though. Yeah.
but
Good
breasts are
point.
more of a goal.
Yeah, something to strive
Something
for.
to
And they're like
aspire-
reaching
aspire
down
up
for
to.
him. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm sure on some of the women in there, they likely were. All right. Well, did y'all have a little bit of the last two? Anything in particular you're hoping to do in the next few sessions? Aside from what we just talked about, I know that Rocket, of course, wants to go see the zoo. Obviously, the Profashi family wants you to handle the Bard incident or the Bard investigation. There's the conversation with the Hollingsworth family, which will be next session, if Silky shows up on time. And
She will.
of course. Is there anything else in particular that y'all are looking to do or plan or want your characters to be able to achieve in like the near future?
I mean, I would like to get a breastplate or a half plate, and I guess we should have everyone meet my family.
Okay.
I know everyone's looking forward to that.
I want to get full plate, and I want to go to the Temple District and sell my animated armor.
Okay.
Yeah, a shopping episode is in our future for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know how much stuff we have from the library though. Like, because we went to the store and sold most of the stuff in that town before we went to the library, and then Morteza got some stuff that he wants to keep for himself, like the giant.
I don't know that y'all sold anything.
I thought that we had like gotten rid of
I
some
think you
stuff.
decided to keep everything that you had from the cove.
A lot
Yeah.
of bags,
Oh.
like
You
bag of
realized you might
salt.
get a better price in a
Oh,
as opposed to-
okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, stuff from the cove particularly. We kept.
I think you bought stuff. You bought like that filter of love and some
Yeah.
potions.
Never
we got
sell,
rid of it.
only buy.
We got rid of the cove stuff. My bad. But the library, we didn't really get anything out of there.
Well,
No.
you got a potion.
Yeah,
A few
books.
potions, some of which you used. Chris has a ring of fire resistance.
But
Yep.
the bones, Chris doesn't want to sell the bones. Chris.
Wait,
Why would
does
I wanna
Chris
sell the
have
bow?
a ring of fire resistance?
Well,
Because
no,
it's
I
got
mean,
a
I
ring of
just
fire
have it.
resistance, and I didn't identify it until after the fight where I fireballed you all.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. On my
Wait.
list at least is just sell stuff, meet up with the Bravachis, which we did, meet Selkie's benefactors, that's next session. Meeting up with Mank will happen. Going to the zoo, of course. Finding more druid stuff will happen. So, on my end at least, I think we got that all covered.
Okay.
I have some stuff
You
with
said-
Saros I want to do, but have to wait for him to come back.
Kathan, you said you wanted to go to the Temple District?
Yeah, to learn. So I still want to look through the books and like go to the Temple District to figure out more about
Shoot
the
me a text as a
gods and stuff.
reminder of what books you have.
I got 3 random books from. You didn't tell me what books it was.
Okay, then
think
I'll go back and look at it. If you remember what floor, that would be helpful. But if not, just shoot me a text so I know to do it.
Yeah.
Because I need to add all the books to everyone's inventory with at least a small blurb. But it's
I think a Book of Dwarven Religion,
I just
General
need- I
Book
just
of
need
Religion,
reminders.
and Book of First of the Paladins.
All right. Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, Book of First of the Paladins. Morteza, is there anything, or Chris, is there anything?
Just
about
exploring the
Morteza?
city, really.
Yeah.
Oh, I think he'd have a better
He
idea
just-
of what he'd want to do after.
He just wants to waste time until he can leave in 2 weeks to go.
I mean, he's a very literal person.
So, a couple of things then that you might want to pursue, aside from potentially checking out magical things or interesting points, is you don't know where the tomb of Sarah Silverbow is. So you might want to figure that out at least before you go.
Yeah.
And that's it, I guess, then. What... Did anyone have a favorite part from this? Or was I uncomfortable with Breeze or anyone, and I should stop doing that? I was trying not to be, like, weird about it, but it is supposed to be also a
No, it
battle.
was fun.
That's pretty funny.
It was pretty funny.
Okay, good.
I think I definitely enjoyed, as always, making Vinny do a deer pickup line, and then it not being actually deers was very funny.
I enjoyed
Yeah.
how I could actually see Connor doing this in real life.
Yeah.
You're right. I can RP nervously talking to girls. Surprisingly well.
Hey, same here, buddy.
Got it in one. That's pretty
Didn't have
funny.
to roll disadvantage or anything. Just
Is
Alright.
disadvantage.
Connor, you still gotta ask your question for...
yeah. I was gonna do that privately. Yeah.
Okay. Just
Private.
let me know a good time. Kathan, same to you.
Yep.
I would say maybe watch through it just to get a little better sense of like what your impression of Hockney would have been, and we also need to do the talk about fucking Savas, which is just
Oh,
a
yeah.
conversation at the same time. So yeah, just text me. I'd like to do that before next week. Speaking of next week, I'm gonna be driving to Houston on said weekend. It's
Hey.
weird. Probably not having that session on Sunday because even if I did get there beforehand, I would not have my computer set up at all. So.
Oh baby,
Is
time
this
for a
like
one
the,
shot.
is this the move?
The move. So it's a
Making money
it's a
moves.
fat TBD for the normal session. If y'all want to do a one shot with someone else leads, I'm totally fine with that.
So are we doing a one shot or are we rescheduling?
I will text for a reschedule, and if someone else would like to volunteer to lead a one shot at the same time instead of a reschedule, I'm super okay with that. I might even be able to join if it's just a one shot. So I could do that.
We could
from my
always do
laptop.
an Avatar : The Last Airbender one shot.
Oh my
I'm fine
gosh.
with that. I'll text for the reschedule. Would have to be. I'd probably need it to be later, like next week, not earlier. And yeah, I don't care if y'all would rather do a one shot instead. That's totally good with me.
What's that one shot's name called doing? Like Into the Mall?
Yeah.
Could do like Return to the Mall or whatever. Just the mall
This time-
strikes
this
back.
time you go the other way. You go through the butt.
The mall the mall strikes back.
Electric
Maw.
Too fast.
Electric
too
Mabaloo.
Gaz's revenge.
Yeah, I guess. this is
Maw,
perfect.
mine.
Gaz's revenge. Oh, he's coming back. Don't worry.
Ooh.
I'll do a
Just,
one shot with Gaz as like the GM or something.
Gaz is doing
Like a
one shot.
voiceover?
Everyone else is playing like fish or sea creatures.
It's a very
And it's
simple
like-
game.
It's
yeah.
a ghost. It's a ghostly Gaz underwater trying to explain to them how to play Dungeons and Dragons. All right. Anyways, that's all I got for today. Thank y'all so much. Peace.
Cool.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Chat with y'all later.
Laters.
Yeah, I'm gonna get dinner with the fam here. Peace out.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.